What? What the hell? What's going on? Oh, that's weird. Got disconnected for a moment. Okay, that was weird. Don't know why I suddenly disconnected. Okay, that's weird that it disconnected like that. Okay, right, let's start analyzing. It's a modest ship. It's probably used by local businesses to transport goods by sea.
I can't help but feel nostalgic seeing these ships. I used to travel by sea all the time when I was traveling the world. It was probably my favorite part.
That does sound pretty nice. I'll have to try riding one day.
Are you sure? You get motion sick pretty easily. Sailing on a ship might kill you.
She has a point there.
There are several crates containing all kinds of goods. It must be the merchandise of the local businesses. What the hell? What's up there? Okay.
Repario Arcanum!
No magic, okay. Dracogen told us that you witnessed the accident.
Oi! It was a horrible thing that happened. No one deserved what happened to that poor lad. Could you tell us what you saw? Well, I was showing a patron around town, and for some reason, he really wanted to take a look at the refinery. Something about checking out the local artificery.
He must mean artificery.
Anyways, he was looking at the machinery. Then suddenly, Mosarika came running towards us. She was trying to tell us something, but the damn machines were too loud for us to hear her.
What the fuck? What's going on with my Twitch? What the hell? What is going on with my... Okay, that was weird. Weird little notifications is happening with my OBS for some reason. Okay, looks like we're all good. Okay, that was weird.
After a while, she just pointed at the walkway, and we saw the horrible sight. We saw someone fall into the vat. By the time we could get to them, to stop the machines, it was too late.
That matches up with what you know so far.
But what was Rika even doing there? Should have been running the cafe at the time of the accident. And that patron who was visiting the factory, did they also witness the accident?
Could you tell us how Justin fell off the walkway? Was it because the guardrail broke under his weight?
Yeah, he did. But it was a little strange. The guardrail was made out of metal, yeah? But the way it broke, you thought that it was made out of cardboard. He barely leaned on it. It just broke apart.
Even a poorly maintained
guardrail shouldn't have broken that easily. Did someone really use transmutation magic to sabotage it? If so, that possibility could clear Dracogen's name. But presenting the possibility of a magical crime might just complicate things.
You mentioned that you were escorting a patron when the accident happened. Who was he? Did he witness the accident too?
Aye, he was right there with me when Rika was trying to get our attention. It'd been hard to miss it with the commotion she was making. As for who he was, he said his name was Aster.
Aster, you don't know anyone by that name. But why does that name sound familiar?
Oh, wait, that's Arya's fiance.
Do you know what his surname was?
No, the lad was really secretive with his last name for some reason.
He must have a recognizable name. Is he a noble from a well-known house?
Why were you escorting this Aster in the first place? Don't you have to manage the harbor?
Well, I can't really manage anything because of them.
He just towards the Inquisition Knights, crowding the pier. It blocked all sea travel out of the city until this mess is sorted out.
They have a lot of knights investigating the harbor. Do you know what they're looking for? Well, you didn't hear this from me, but according to them, Aster's ship just up and vanished in the dead of night.
Vanished? as in someone hijacked it.
That's the thing. The guards would have noticed if someone had driven off with the ship, especially one of that size. From what I've heard, one of the guards could have sworn that they saw it vanish in a flash of light. A flash of light? Like something created by a spell?
What kind of ship was it? Do you know how big it was?
From the size of it, I say it was probably a galleon.
A galleon? A spell of that scale would have to be pretty powerful to affect a ship of that size.
I wonder who this Aster person is. He must be a high profile if they're calling in the King's Guard and the Inquisition for him.
All over a missing ship.
You spent some time with him, am I correct, Morrison? Did he tell you where he was staying?
If I remember right, he's staying at the local inn near the town square. Wait, that's the tavern we were staying at.
If he's this high profile, why is he staying at an inn for commoners?
No idea. He's an eccentric one for sure.
Whoever he is, he also witnessed the accident. You will definitely want to speak with him. And if he's a noble, there's a chance he's the mage that sabotaged the guardrail.
Morrison said that Aster is staying in one of the rooms at this tavern. But which room is it?
We can always just check each room.
That might irritate the patrons, though. And if Aster doesn't want to be found, we might alert him if we annoy too many people.
I guess you're right.
Your family owns a tavern, right? If you had to put a VIP somewhere, which room would you choose?
I guess it would probably be the one at the end of the hallway. That's the one I use at my family's tavern.
According to Celeste's intuition, the innkeeper would have probably given Aster this room.
You approach the door and firmly knock on it.
Hello?
Someone does come to answer the door, but they only open the door a fraction of the way. The crack in the door is less than an inch wide. You can't get a look at the person's face.
I'm terribly sorry, but if your business isn't urgent, I'd like to be left alone. Sorry if I'm intruding, but are you Aster? My name is Tyrion Cuthbert. I'm a defense attorney of Stefanik Drickergen. From what I've heard, you witnessed the accident at a refinery yesterday. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions about what you saw.
Upon hearing your name, the man fully opens the door, and you're finally able to get a good look at him. He definitely stands out from the other patrons of the inn. He must be the wealthy patron that you're looking for.
Tyrion Cuthbert, the protege of the infamous Ruby Tamora. So, you know who I am? I do. I know you very well. I'm your biggest fan! What? I can't believe it! The infamous Tyrion Cuthbert is standing right in front of my tavern room! What? I've read about all your feats, Mr. Cuthbert. You successfully indicted the head of House Pierce. You didn't even think twice about confronting a member of House Freyja. And you even defeated Lord Von Sanctus in the chess tournament yesterday.
I'm so lost right now.
And you must be Celeste McCoy. Tyrion's first client and the Crimson Demon on the Eastern Kingdoms.
How did you find out about that name?
The Crimson what?
Don't ask.
Anyways, if you are Aster, does that mean you witnessed the accident with the Harbor Master yesterday? Yes, I did. Are you going to interrogate me about what I saw? I'll answer whatever questions you have.
You've never met a witness that has been this eager to cooperate, but hopefully this means that he won't hide any details about what he saw.
Repario Arcanum.
Okay. I probably don't want to piss off the patrons. Okay. You clearly know who I am, but I'm still unsure of who you are, Aster. Ah, my apologies, but I would prefer to keep my full identity hidden for now.
He's within his right to do so, but you can't help but feel a little suspicious.
In any case, what's your business in Oranax? I was accompanying a ship transporting goods to Lord Von Sanctus. The same ship that was magically stolen? I'm surprised you have found out about that. The King's Guard have been trying their best to keep that information hidden, but I suppose I shouldn't expect anything less from you, Mr. Cuthbert.
Flattery will get him nowhere.
What was on that ship? It must have been pretty valuable to be wet stealing.
Ah, I doubt there was anything on that ship worth drawing the ire of the entire kingdom. The truth is, during that time that my ship was stolen, I was supposed to be on it. I see. The theft of the ship might have actually been an attempt to kidnap you. That's my current theory anyway. It wouldn't make sense otherwise.
He seems awfully calm about this.
According to Morrison, you were also in the refinery that night. Did you witness the moment the victim fell into the vat? I did.
Could you tell us exactly what you saw? Every detail you can remember could be important.
Well, it all began when I was visiting the refinery with the harbor master. I was inspecting the refinery's machines when a girl frantically ran towards us. She was hysterical. It looks like she was trying to tell us something, but we couldn't hear her over the noise of the machines. When she realized that we couldn't hear her, she simply pointed at the walkway. That's when we saw Justin fall off it and into the vat. The next question is very important. Did you see the victim break the guardrail by leaning on it? Yes, he broke the guardrail before he fell.
His testimony matches exactly what Morrison saw.
The way he fell was very strange, though.
Strange? What could he mean by that?
You mentioned the way the victim fell was strange. Did you feel like the guardrail broke too easily? Why, yes. How did you know? It matches with the statement that the harbor master gave us.
You don't want to reveal the traces of transmutation that you found on the walkway. At least not yet.
But yes, the guardrail broke the moment that Justin leaned on it, and his body was extremely limp when falling too.
His body was limp?
Normally, when falling from a great height, one would flare their arms, yes? But when I saw him falling, he wasn't moving at all.
He wasn't moving.
Did you see the expression on his face? He might have been unconscious. I'm afraid I couldn't see anything on his face. It was much too dark to make out his features. Wait, you didn't actually see his face? How did you know it was actually him that fell in? Well, who else could have been? No one else has been reported missing.
They also found the remnants of Justin's body in that vat. It was definitely him that fell in.
That is true. You don't have much of a reason to believe that Justin might still be alive. There were traces of transmutation magic at the crime scene, and it appears that Aster is quite a high-profile individual. He's probably a mage, and aside from Rika, he was probably the only other mage at the refinery that night. If you ask him outright, you might be able to, okay, that's missing it. Okay, that's a bit of a grammar mistake. You might be able to see something incriminating through the eye of Horus.
Aster, we'll respect your privacy if you don't want to tell us who you are, but you could at least answer one question for me. I can make no promises, but I'll do my best to tell you what I can. Are you a mage? Oh? Is that all? Yes, I am a mage, and I'm quite the practiced one at that. You see, Celeste cast Detect Magic to look at the scene of the accident, and we found traces of transmutation magic at the crime scene, namely on the guardrails that Justin fell through. What?
Here it is.
I can't believe it!
What?
Are you telling me that a mage used transmutation magic to weaken the rails? It's a conspiracy! Wait, does that mean this was actually a murder made to look like an accident? It's like something out of the reports I read about him.
You don't see anything incriminating, and you can see his thoughts clearly. His feelings of happiness are a bit off-putting, though.
And you asked me if I was a mage? Does that mean I'm a potential suspect? This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me!
This is the first time you met someone that's happy to be suspected of murder.
Sorry, it's not right of me to get so excited about something this serious. You must think less of me now. But it's like something right out of a mystery novel.
That's not the reaction you were expecting. Nevertheless, it doesn't look like there are any incriminating thoughts in his mind. And the emotions that he was emanating were all positive. There wasn't a drop of fear in there. What could this mean? Either way, it looks like you found out everything you can from Aster. You should move somewhere else.
Okay, let's go to the refinery.
You should notify Dracogen about the traces of the transmutation that you found, but perhaps you should wait until you obtain more information first. After all, knowing about a potential saboteur might unnecessarily stress them out, even more if you don't have more information.
Fair enough. I'll go to the cafe.
Tyrion, you're back! Did you talk to Mr. Dracogen?
I did. I'm still not sure what to make of him just yet, but after what I've seen today, I don't think I can turn a blind eye to what's happening.
There were traces of transmutation magic on the guardrails. Regardless of their motives, someone sabotaged those rails with the intent of harming an employee at the refinery. If this truly was a murder, you have to find out who did this, and why.
I'll represent him in court for the criminal case.
Thanks, it really means a lot to me.
On that note, you were at the refinery when the accident occurred, am I correct?
Yes, I was.
May I ask you a few questions about what you saw that day?
Of course, I'll do whatever I can to help.
Oh shit. We're gonna have to argue with her later on. By the way, why were you at the refinery that day? Did you have to work at the cafe?
I was making a food delivery to Justin.
Wait, you were delivering food to the victim?
Yeah, he never had the time to make his own dinner, so I always delivered his dinner during his evening break. But that night, I couldn't find him in the freight area, so I went looking for him in the refinery building.
So, the accident happened while you were delivering his food. Did you talk to Justin at all before the accident?
I did. When I found him in the refinery building, he seemed busy. He told me to leave his food in the break room.
He was busy, but according to Dracogen, he shouldn't have never been in the refinery building in the first place.
Did he say what he was busy with? He said that he had a meeting scheduled with Mr. Dracogen.
That can't be true, though. Dracogen didn't mention anything about this. Unless...
Did he lie? We've got a few witness accounts already, but I just wanted to double check. What did you see during the accident? Sorry, I'm sure it was a disturbing sight. Do you need to take a moment?
No, it's okay. It happened after Justin told me to leave his food in the break room. It was my first time inside the refinery, so I spent some time looking at all the machines. And that's when I suddenly heard a strange sound from the walkway. When I looked to see what it was, I saw Justin fall from there. I tried to find someone to help him, but no one could hear me because of how loud the machines were. Before I finally got to them to understand what happened, it was already too late.
Did you see the guardrail break when Justin fell off the walkway? More specifically, did it break from Justin's weight?
I'm honestly not sure. I was too busy trying to find help.
We have matching witness accounts from Astor and Morrison. They saw the guardrail break. Having Rika also confirms that that would have been helpful. But you suppose Astor and Morrison's statements will have to suffice. Rika's account of what happened is a lot less detailed than Astor and Morrison's. But she did see Justin before the accident.
Oh. Nintendo! Thank you for the raid. How are you doing? I'm guessing you were playing this game as well? I'm considering that you seem to raid me specifically for this game, because I don't think this game is super popular. But it should be, because this game's pretty underrated. I mean, I haven't completed the game yet, I'm only on the 3rd case, but yes. I'm just prepping myself for the remastered version of Ace Attorney Investigations 1 and 2 that's coming out in September. And I caught this game on Steam and I was like, oh shit, it's a pretty good game. This game looks like it's inspired from Ace Attorney, and it is! So, yeah, I went ahead and gonna start playing it. Anyway.
You still have no idea why Justin was on that walkway in the first place. According to Rika, he said that he had a meeting scheduled with Dracogen. But this doesn't match with what Dracogen told you. Either Justin or Dracogen must be lying in that case. You've met Dracogen already, but you still have no idea what kind of person Justin was.
One small streamer to another, yeah, we were halfway through case 4. Hope you're enjoying the game so far. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm enjoying the game. I'm overall enjoying the game as well from my playthrough of it. I'm loving the lore that the game has for its setting and such, and also the writing is pretty good. I'd say it's about like, yeah, pretty much on par with what Ace Attorney's got, if not better. But yeah, the game's great. and I look forward to completing the whole game.
Perhaps we can tell you more.
Could you tell us more about the victim? What kind of person was he?
He was a good person. He fell in with a bad crowd a few years ago, but when he started to turn his life around, I saw how much he was trying to change, so I asked Mr. Dracogen to give him a job. I really wanted to help him change his life for the better, but this job ended up killing him. You can't blame yourself for this. No one could have known that this would happen. I guess you're right. It's hard not to think about that. Though.
Was he the type of person to go to places that he wasn't supposed to be?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore?
He really wanted to make a good impression on Mr. Dracogen. He always talked about following the rules. He even got mad at me a few times when I accidentally broke Dracogen's protocols.
Right, that matches up with what Dracogen said, but maybe he was falling back into his old habits. Perhaps we can tell you more about what he was like before he turned his life around.
You mentioned that Justin fell in with a bad crowd before. I've also heard that he used to hang out with a band of local delinquents. Could you tell us more about them?
What?
Rika, this is information that will help with our investigation. I need to speak with the other people who knew him. Do you know where I could find his delinquent friends?
I'm sorry. I really didn't know him that well. I should keep quiet. It might make him mad.
Rika, are you hiding something from me?
What? Of course not. Why would the Dark Lord of Orinax possibly have to hide from you?
Yeah, she's definitely hiding something. You'll need to argue against it if you want to know the truth.
Oh, my psychological profile with her isn't complete. I could try presenting shit to her. Okay. I'm terribly sorry for what happened to Justin. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, it's different to think about sometimes. You always hear about those things happening, but you never expect them to happen to people you know. But I have no fear. It will take more than this to bring down the High Archmagi.
She reverted back to her Chuny personality.
Ah, there we go. Now let's argue.
Mosorika Tudor appears to be hiding something from you. She clearly knows about the bad crowd that Justin fell in with, but she's hiding who they are and where you can find them. You'll need to convince her to share that information with you.
Yes. Bring it. Okay. Will perform questionable acts to protect the people she cares about. She has your best interests at heart and will always act in a way that she thinks is beneficial for your well-being. She isn't very good at deception. She will often revert to her dramatic Chuny personality when trying to hide the truth from you. Okay. Rika, you know about Justin's friends, don't you? Just be honest with me.
I'm not hiding anything. I really don't know that much about him. I may have delivered his food, but he was just a customer to me.
Are you sure about that? Okay, let me just double check. This one. I might have believed that you delivered his food because he was a good customer, but that wasn't all you did for him. You saw that he was trying to turn his life around, and you begged Dracogen to set him up with a job. You wouldn't do that for a customer that you barely knew.
Well, that still proves nothing. I am Mosorika Tudor, High Archmage of the Cadmium Flame. Is it so hard to believe that I took pity on a stranger?
I only help him because he's a generous person.
It would only be right for me to equip a commoner with the means to change his life.
She cares about. Okay. Okay, you said earlier. I think I'll go with agree. No? Oh, fuck. You are a generous person, Rika, and that type of generosity will make you privy to details of Justin's life. I doubt that he'd continue to hide this past from you after you've done so much for him. You would have known who he associated with.
Tyrion, not everyone wants to share their past with the people close to them. You should know that better than anyone.
She's got you there. Shit.
Doubt? There we go. I should have just went with doubt. You're not a good liar, Rika. You would have risked a lot by asking Dracogen to hire a stranger, especially a stranger with a dubious past like Justin. What if Justin fell back to his old ways? That would have surely brought about the consequences on you and your business. You wouldn't have taken a risk like that unless you knew him well enough to trust him.
Okay, fine. I guess we were friends. But like I said before, he was trying to leave his old life behind. He didn't like talking about the person he was back then. He wanted to forget about it, and I never brought it up. It's sort of true, but we knew each other for years before he told me about it.
Before he told me about it. Use claims that contradict a piece of evidence. Do I have anything? I don't think I do. This? Sort of true. Intuition? Yeah. I doubt that, Rika. In fact, I'm sure that you were friends for at least a few years. With a friendship that old, I'm sure he would have confided in you about his past.
What?
No. You need to stay focused. Rika, I don't know why you thought you had to lie about this, but I need to talk to Justin's former friends.
Is that really necessary?
Yes. I need to know why he was behaving so strangely before the incident. His friends might know something about him that you and Dracogen don't.
But that doesn't make any sense.
There wasn't anything strange about the way he was acting.
I think you're overthinking this, Tyrion.
There wasn't anything strange with him. Okay. There wasn't anything strange about the way he was acting. Okay, I think. This one?
You didn't want to overplay your hand before, but it looks like you don't have a choice now.
Rika, Justin told you that he was heading to a scheduled meeting in Dracogen's office. But according to Dracogen, Justin wasn't even supposed to be in the refinery building yesterday.
What?
Rika, Justin might have lied to you.
No. He would never do that.
I need to know why he was up there. And so far, his statements that I've gotten from you and Dracogen don't explain that. I need you to talk to the people who might know. I need to talk to the people who might know things about him that you don't. Yeah, that was a bit more challenging than before.
Okay. I'll tell you where you can find them. Just promise me that you'll be safe, okay?
You successfully persuaded? Yes, I persuaded her.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to lie to you.
It's okay. I'm assuming you had your reasons. But I need to know where I can find Justin's old friends.
You probably know already, but a few years ago, Justin got involved with a local street gang. They always hang around the beach area. But one day, they discovered an abandoned house along the coastline. and they started spending most of their time there.
A lone house on the coastline.
It's that house, Tyrion. That's probably where you'll find Justin's old friends.
So, that's why you were being so secretive.
What? I'm sorry.
Don't be. You were just trying to look out for me, right?
Are you going to be okay? I can go there with you if you like.
No, it's okay. I'm sure you're busy with the cafe right now. It's not as if I'll be going alone.
Alright, just don't push yourself too hard, okay?
Yeah.
You arrive at the old abandoned house. Upon looking at the home that you left behind, you're struck with a flood of memories. Those memories were once happy, but now they only fill you with grief.
Tyrion? Are you okay?
Yeah. Let's look around.
You wipe your eyes and begin looking around the house. Suddenly you hear a sound of glass breaking. You rush to look at the source and see two young teenagers throwing rocks at the side of the house. The shattered remains of a window are lying on the ground.
Nice shot, Gavin.
Gavin Kralin.
One of the teens, apparently named Gavin, notices you approaching.
We got company, Wyatt.
Huh?
Wyatt Arenell.
You stare blankly at the broken glass lying on the ground. You're at the loss for words. You feel like you should respond, but nothing comes out of your mouth. You suddenly find yourself quickly approaching the two teens.
What the hell do you want?
Ugh, what the hell? Before you even realize what you were doing, you threw a punch straight into the Gavin's face. Your eyes are slowly tearing up. You can only see red. You grab Gavin by the collar and pull his face closer to yours.
Get the hell away from my house.
Tyrion?
Oh, you wanna go? Ugh. If you came looking for trouble, you sure found it.
Okay. Let's all calm down and just...
Stay out of this, you little shit.
Excuse me?
What? You got cotton in your ears or something?
Yes, actually. Why don't you go and repeat what you just said?
I said, stay out of this. You little shit. 5 minutes later.
Oh yeah, she roughed him up good. Celeste?
Yes?
I'm sorry for losing my temper back there. I didn't mean to drag you into this.
It's okay. Our emotions get the better of us sometimes.
Celeste?
Yes?
I think you might have overdone it a bit.
Nah.
Celeste?
Yes?
I don't think he's breathing.
Come on, just give him a second.
You suddenly hear the very bruised and broken form of Gavin sputtering and wheezing on the ground. It looks like he's finally regained consciousness.
See, he's perfectly fine. You're fine.
He's very afraid. Wyatt is staring wide-eyed at Celeste. From the shaking of his legs, it looks like he wants to run away, but he's too frozen by fear to move.
Don't bother running. Even with a head start, I can easily catch up to you. Anyway, these two are probably just Justin's former delinquent friends, right? Are you okay with talking to them?
Yes, of course.
With your emotions in such disarray, you completely forgot why you came here in the first place.
Would you two happen to know the young man who died at the refinery yesterday?
These guys are after Justin, but he's already dead.
After Justin, was there someone with a grudge against him? Wyatt clearly thinks that you were sent on someone's behalf. It wouldn't hurt to play the part to get more information out of him.
We're not here to hurt you. We're not here to hurt you anymore. We'd just like to ask you a few questions about Justin.
Yes, sure, man. Whatever you want.
Alright, you two talk. I'll work on popping Gavin's shoulder back into place.
It's a little disturbing how nonchalantly she says things like that.
What can you tell me about Justin Wayne? According to a few witnesses we spoke to, you used to be friends.
Friends is kinda pushing it. We used to hang back in the day, but we don't know. But we don't know more. It was weird when he started talking to us again. I thought he left us for good.
But he started talking to you again. Why?
He just needed some old gear that he left at the house.
Old gear? What kind of old gear?
You know, his thieves' tools. All the tools you need for lockpicking and safe cracking.
Tools for lockpicking and safe cracking? Why would Justin need those?
What would Justin need lockpicking and safe cracking tools for?
Well, he needed to get the gold that he owed your boss.
So he owed gold to someone.
What has it? He was working for the merchant that owns the refinery. I guess the owner trusted him a lot. Justin said he had a way to get access to the safe in the guy's office. Justin was always a whiz when it came to breaking and entering. He even had the tools that could crack magical locks. Getting the gold out of the safe would be an easy source for him.
Wait, Justin was planning to rob Dracogen?
Oh shit.
Lloyd apparently thinks that you were sent on the behalf of someone. And from what he said so far, Justin owed a non-trivial amount of gold to this person. If this person was some kind of criminal, could they have been the one to sabotage the guardrail?
Did Justin tell you who he owed this debt to?
Nah, man. He didn't say nothing. They might whack me too hard. They might whack me too if I tell them the truth.
So he does know.
There's no point in playing dumb, just tell us what he told you. Did he give you a name?
Answer the question.
The Eye Taker. He always goes to the Eye Taker.
The Eye Taker?
Okay. The Eye Taker. There must be some kind of criminal nickname. Why does that sound so familiar, though? Either way, you need to find out who this Eye Taker is. Might be the best to ask someone else.
Hey, Tyrion?
Yeah?
Back at the house, what was that all about? I never seen you get that angry before, and you said it was your house.
Yeah. It was my house.
It was? Ever since we arrived in the city, you haven't really been yourself. If you want to talk about it,
I'm fine, and I don't want to talk about it.
You're not fine. I can see it on your face. Please, just talk to me.
It's none of your business.
That came out a lot louder than you wanted it to.
Celeste, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Without a word, she quickly walks ahead of you.
Rika, do you know a criminal named the Eye Taker?
The Eye Taker? I can't say I've heard of them. Are you in conflict with this villain? Do they seek to steal the Eye of Horus from you?
No, not exactly. At least, you hope not.
Either way, it looks like Rika doesn't know who the Eye Taker is. You should try asking someone else.
Okay, I'll try to go to the refinery. Dracogen, have you ever heard of a criminal named the Eye Taker?
That names does sound familiar, but I don't know much more than that. I try my best to avoid those sorts of people, you understand? Perhaps someone else might know more about them.
Aster?
What can you tell me about this, Esther? Sorry, I'd love to help you. Oh, yeah, he doesn't know shit. Okay, oh, that's the Harbor Master. Oh, yeah, he looks like he only has one eye. Morrison, do you know about a criminal named the Eye Taker?
The Eye Taker? Where did you hear that name?
So you do know about them?
Oh, yeah, I do. I learned to keep my distance from him over the years. The Eye Taker is the criminal kingpin of this region. Every large criminal undertaking in this region happens under his watch.
He's that big of a deal?
Of course he is. More importantly, how do you hear about him?
From what I've heard, Justin Way owed him a huge debt.
Justin owed them? I knew I used to run around with a bunch of rogues, but I never imagined. By the scared lord.
The Eye Taker might be involved in Justin's death. Do you think someone like him could be behind this?
Well, there's no saying that there's a saying we have about what happens when you get on his bad side. Let's just say, he reminds you of why he has that name.
So you know who the Eye Taker is now. It definitely adds another angle to the case. But there are still some elements of this that don't make sense. You need to take some time to work through it all. But you should go talk to Dracogen first. You'll want to see everything that you found.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Cuthbert. I trust you're doing well.
We are.
For the most part.
We've spent some time looking into the accident and the people who knew Justin. I think there might be more to this case than meets the eye.
Oh? You spent some time explaining your findings to Dracogen. He seems troubled when you explain the traces of transmutation that you found on the guardrail. He's even more taken aback when you mention Justin's supposed plan to rob him. This is quite a lot to take in.
Are you missing any valuables in your safe right now?
No, actually, but
What is it?
after the accident, I did a careful inspection of the building. When I checked my office, I noticed that the lock on the safe was disengaged.
The safe was open, but you said there wasn't anything missing.
That's right. When I saw the safe open like that, I was already worried that I'd been robbed, but I double-checked the contents. Everything was accounted for. Because of that, I just assumed I'd forgotten to lock it.
This doesn't make any sense. Maybe it was just a coincidence.
I might believe that if it weren't for where my office is located.
What do you mean?
The walkway that Justin fell from leads to my office. There's a window over there that overlooks the refinery.
That would explain why Justin was there in the first place.
I don't want to suspect one of my employees, especially one that isn't alive to defend himself from such accusations. But if it all fits too perfectly together, it just all fits too perfectly together, except one thing.
Why wasn't anything stolen? Well, regardless, I think you have a pretty good case.
So does that mean you'll represent me?
After what I've discovered, I won't just stand by and let Von Sanctus have his way.
Well spoken. I'm glad to have you on my side, Mr. Cuthbert.
Anyways, regardless of why, someone clearly magical tampered with the site of the accident. I doubt the court will find you at fault for what happened. Although,
What's wrong?
civil cases are a lot less strict than criminal cases. If we present evidence suggesting foul play using magic,
They'll treat this exactly like our other cases.
yeah, they might stall the trial until they find out what exactly happened. For this accident, all we have to go on is witness accounts. Finding concrete evidence of what happened could very well be impossible.
But the idea of hunting down the main responsible sounds very tempting. It looks like you have your work cut out for you. I just hope things turned out okay in the end. And with the Von Sanctus on the other side of this, who knows what happen? Who knows what might happen? It'd be best to keep your wits about you.
I can't believe this. I have more important things to do than resolve your petty squabbles for you. Yes, the missing ship of your betrothed. Listen, the sooner you help me resolve this mess with Dracogen, the sooner you can return to being this prince's lapdog. That is to say, once I'm not preoccupied with this case, House Von Sanctus can provide the resources that you and the Inquisition need. I suppose I don't have a choice, do I? Well, at least this case should be relatively straightforward. Tyrion shows up. Ah, shit.
Court is now in session for the trial of Stefanik Dracogen.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is also ready.
Very well. Let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelman, please list the charges.
The defendant is charged with criminal negligence on the death of Justin Wayne. The death occurred at the Arcane refinery last night. Mr. Wayne was an employee of the Dracogen Trading Company, a company owned by the defendant. During work hours, the victim accidentally broke a poorly maintained safety rail and fell into a vat of corrosive chemicals. Attempts to save his life failed, and his body was almost fully dissolved.
I see. What a gruesome end.
the defendant displayed a clear negligence in maintaining the refinery's facilities. As such, the responsibility for Mr. Wayne's death falls squarely on his shoulders. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Noah Morrison to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Yes. The name's Noah Morrison. I'm the harbor master of Ornax's harbor.
It's my understanding that you witnessed the accident that night. Am I correct?
I did.
Could you please testify to the court about what you witnessed?
I was showing a visitor around the city, and for some reason he really wanted to see the Ornax Arcane refinery. He was inspecting the machines there, when suddenly, Mosarika ran up to us. She was desperately trying to tell us something, but there was just too much noise. After a while, she just pointed at the walkway overlooking the refinery. That's when we saw someone fall from that accursed vat. There was a guardrail that should have prevented him from falling, but he broke through it as he fell.
So there was a safety rail that should have protected the victim.
Yes, however, upon closer inspection, the city guard found that the rails were extremely rusted. They were clearly poorly maintained by the company.
I see. This negligence is the basis on of the prosecution's charges.
Are we going to present the traces of transmutation that we found?
I can't help but feel like there's something in Morrison's testimony that doesn't add up. Right now, those traces are the only defense we have against Von Sanctus's accusations. It's not a piece that I want to use just yet.
And once you use that piece, who knows how the judge will react. Not much has changed with Morrison's testimony. However, you've collected a lot more evidence since you last spoke with him. Is there anything you found that contradicts his testimony?
Let me take a look-see at my evidence. Yod gold. Okay, the eye taker. Walker, try to get the attention of This was the patron you mentioned before, am I correct, Morrison?
Aye. As to seem keen on reporting his identity, on keeping his identity hidden, it would be best to leave it at that. Aside from being a mage, he hasn't given you much reason to suspect him. For now.
Are you referring to Mosarika Tudor, the owner of the local cafe?
Aye, for whatever reason she was also there and witnessed the accident.
Yes, we are already well aware of that.
Mosarika's testimony was a lot less detailed than Morrison and Astor's testimony. She was probably more focused on saving Justin than taking in her surroundings. But there are points where her testimony doesn't add up with Morrison's.
Saw Justin Wayne fall off the walkway at the scene. Well, she tried to get the attention of Astor and Nolan Morrison, but they couldn't understand her because of how loud the refinery machines are, okay? And this noise came from the machines in the refinery, I presume.
Those machines were loud as hell. I could barely hear myself think with that noise. There was no way I could have heard young Miss Sorika over all that. After a while, she just pointed to the walkway overlooking the refinery. That's when we saw someone fall into that accursed vat.
You mentioned that you saw someone fall into the vat. Did you not recognize the person?
Well, I didn't know the lad personally, and it was pretty far away. I couldn't get a good look at the person. Maybe you should keep a pin on that detail.
Anyways, could you go into more detail about the moment you witnessed the accident?
Of course. What do you want to know about?
What was Mosarika doing? What was Aster doing? What happened to the guardrail just before Aster? Was the guardrail extremely rusted before it broke? What was Mosarika doing? What was Mosarika doing the moment you saw Justin fall?
I told you, didn't I? She was the one who pointed to the walkway in the first place. That's how we saw Justin fall.
I see. Could you please include that detail in your testimony?
If you think it'll help.
Pointed out, that's when we saw Justin fall. Okay. She pointed, but it doesn't say that she pointed though. She said she was too busy getting help. Just saw Justin Lane fall off the walkway. After seeing her fall, she tried to get the attention. That, when she pointed, that's when he fell. Okay. After seeing him fall. Ah, okay, I think that's it. That's after she saw him fall.
Objection!
Wait, what? Witness, you said that you saw the victim fall into the vat. Did this happen before, during, or after Mosarika tried to get your attention?
It was definitely after. If it weren't for the commotion she made, I wouldn't have looked up there in the first place.
It's just as you thought, but what does this mean?
Morrison, I spoke with Mosarika about what she saw. She said that she saw Justin fall off the walkway and then rush to you for help.
Oh, hey, that sounds about right.
No, Morrison, it actually doesn't.
What do you mean?
If Mosarika saw Justin fall before she went to get help, then how did you see him fall after she came to you for help?
What?
Morrison, Mosarika came to you for help. This was in reaction to seeing Justin fall off the walkway. If that's true, then how could you have possibly seen Justin fall off the walkway again afterward?
I have no idea.
Mr. Cuthbert, you're disputing the witness's testimony over a minor detail. It's entirely possible that Mr. Morrison or Miss Tudor simply misremembered.
I highly doubt that Morrison misremembered the order of what happened. His testimony matches up exactly with the testimony of his companion.
Then Miss Tudor must be the one who's mistaken.
I'm compelled to agree with Miss Steelwind. These conflicting accounts seem extremely minor.
The prosecution's case is based on the broken guardrail, and only 3 individuals witnessed Justin Wayne break the said guardrail. The defense asserts that these 3 witness accounts must be consistent with each other. Otherwise, this evidence is not strong enough to find my client liable.
Please, the break in the guardrail is directly over the vat. That isn't enough physical evidence. It proves that the victim fell in because the railing broke.
How do we know that the guardrail wasn't broken by some other event?
That's ludicrous. You're clearly just playing devil's advocate.
I'll admit that I will also find the defense assertion dubious. However, I see no harm in allowing Miss Tudor to testify what she saw.
We just saw a lot less than Morrison and Aster did, and her testimony was a lot less detailed. But the one detail she did remember was that she saw Justin fall off the walkway. Hopefully her testimony might clear up what happened.
Bailiff, please escort Miss Tudor to the witness stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the courtroom.
This is probably Rika's first time testifying in a courtroom.
You hope she'll be okay.
As if I need such introductions, but allow me to indulge you all.
Oh lord, is she seriously doing that here?
I am Musarika Tudor, Dark Lord of Oronax. I'm Archmagi of the Cadmium Flames and business proprietor of Sweet Confections.
I see. I was not aware we were in the presence of such a renowned individual.
Wait, does he actually believe her? Your Honor, Musarika Tudor is the owner of the local cafe in Oronax.
But isn't she also the High Magi?
I am.
No, she really isn't.
Tyrion, you're ruining my flow. Yeah, stop ruining your flow, Tyrion.
You would say that your flow is the most disrupted right now.
Ahem. Anyways, Miss Tudor, you were at the Oronax refinery on the night of the accident, and you witnessed the moment that the victim fell off the walkway, am I correct?
Yes, that's right.
According to your statement, you ran up to Morrison after you saw Justin fall off the walkway. The problem is that there's a contradiction between both of your testimonies.
There's a contradiction?
Morrison testified that he didn't see the victim fall into the vat until after you approached him. This wouldn't make sense though. You saw the victim fall off the walkway before you ran up to Morrison. Morrison couldn't have possibly seen the victim fall again after that.
Oh, I think I see what happened.
You do?
I think you misunderstand what I said before.
I misunderstood you. If that's true, could you please testify to the court exactly what happened? Please include every detail you can remember.
Sure. I was at the refinery when I heard a strange sound from the walkway. When I looked over to see what it was, I saw that Justin had tumbled over the guardrail. But he hadn't fallen into the vat yet. I saw him barely hanging onto the edge of the platform. I didn't know how to get to the walkway from there, so I looked around for help on the grounds and found Mr. Morrison. He must have seen Justin lose his grip on the ledge and fall into the vat after that.
So the victim didn't immediately fall into the vat. He was hanging onto the edge in the walkway. That would explain how Mr. Morrison saw the victim fall into the vat after Miss Tudor saw him fall off the walkway. In any case, Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
Bring it. Yes, but on his account, it saw that he just leaned on it. The figure leaned on the grid. Yeah, they just fell. He was hanging onto the ledge. Was there anyone around to help him back up?
I didn't see anyone around, but I really wasn't paying attention to that. I was just focused on saving him before he fell. I assumed that if anyone was nearby, they'd immediately try to help him.
Objection!
Over. She said over, didn't she? Rika, you said that the victim tumbled over the guardrail, as in he was thrown over it.
Yes, that's right.
What? Did you see the moment that the guardrail broke?
No, I didn't. I already told you that, didn't I?
But you did see the moment that Justin fell off the walkway. And in that moment, did you see Justin break the guardrail?
No, like I told you, I didn't see the moment that the guardrail broke.
But that's the thing, Rika. According to Morrison, Justin Wade broke the rail as he fell into the vat. More specifically, he said that Justin was standing on the walkway when this happened.
What?
According to the prosecution, Justin Wayne leaned on a faulty guardrail and broke it, falling into the vat. But that's not what you saw, was it, Rika?
No, I saw him tumble over the guardrail.
I'm afraid I don't see the importance of this, Mr. Cuthbert. Are you accusing the witness of perjury?
There's definitely something going on here, but what? Rika's a mage, and you don't want to suspect her, but you need to consider every possibility. What is happening here? They're both lying, they're both telling the truth. They're both telling the truth? They're both telling the truth, you guess.
But how does that make sense?
Okay, think through this. If we assume that Rika and Morrison are telling the truth, you need to remember the exact order of events. First, Rika saw Justin go up the walkway.
When I looked to see what it was, I saw Justin had tumbled over the guardrail. But he hadn't fallen into the vat yet. I saw him barely hang on to the edge of the platform.
She saw Justin fall over the guardrail and off the walkway. Justin was able to grab onto the walkway ledge. That's when Rika went to look for help. That's when she ran into Morrison and asked her.
Rika came running towards us. She was trying to tell us something, but the damn machines were too loud for us to hear her. She pointed at the walkway, and that's when we saw someone fall into the vat. By the time we could get them to stop the machines, it was too late.
And then there is Aster's account of events.
Did you see the expression on his face? He might have been unconscious. I'm afraid I couldn't see anything on his face. It was much too dark to make out his features. Wait, you didn't actually see his face? How did you know it was actually him that fell in? Well, who else could it have been?
Aster and Morrison couldn't see Justin's face. That one detail of their testimony never sat right with you. But you dismissed your suspicions. They found Justin's body in the vat after all. You know for a fact that he fell into that vat, but you never considered one other possibility.
Justin didn't fall into the vat? No. Another person fell into the vat.
Another person? Is that really possible? But it's the only thing that makes sense. It would also explain how Rika, Morrison, and Aster saw someone fall off the walkway at different times. But then, who is the second person? Ugh, you don't have a choice. Even if you don't know all of the facts, this is the only conclusion you can draw.
I think you've had quite enough time to deliberate. Mr. Cuthbert, are you accusing the witness or not?
I am not accusing the witness of perjury, Your Honor. Both Miss Tudor's and Mr. Morrison's testimonies appear to contradict each other, but they are both telling the truth.
Then please enlighten us, Mr. Cuthbert. How could both of their testimonies possibly be true?
Well, I think there's only one possible explanation. Both Miss Tudor and Mr. Morrison saw someone fall off the walkway, but the person that Miss Tudor saw and the person that Mr. Morrison saw were two different people.
Are you serious, Mr. Cuthbert? Do you honestly think that some random person fell into the vat moments after Justin Way fell in?
It's the only conclusion that makes sense, Miss Steelwind. Miss Tudor knew the victim and recognized him. That's how she was able to confirm that it was him that fell into the vat. However, Mr. Morrison and his companion did not know the victim personally. They could barely make out his features. They only assumed that it was him after learning that he fell in.
Please, it's far more likely that Miss Tudor is simply mistaken about what she saw. What? No, I'm sure I saw Justin tumble over the guardrail. Let's not forget Miss Tudor's allegiances. As a beneficiary of the Drycogen Trading Company, she even has every reason to confound this case in the defendant's favor. That's not...
That's enough. This is a civil case, Mr. Cuthbert, not some murder mystery for you to throw wild theories towards.
Gosh, well, it looks like you don't have a choice. You're going to have to use your trump card. You have one piece of evidence that implies that this wasn't a simple accident.
Oh boy, here we go. Are you sure about that, Your Honor? What? Justin Wayne's death was reported as an unfortunate accident. As a result, the city guard put minimal resources into their investigation. More specifically, there was no reason to call in the Arcane Inquisition.
What are you talking about now? Why would the Inquisition be... No. Are you saying that?
Unlike the Oranax City Guard, I have a mage capable of casting Detect Magic. My bodyguard, Celeste McCoy, scanned the crime scene for magical traces, and she found traces of transmutation on the broken guardrail.
Traces of magic were found at the crime scene? But that would make this...
a potential homicide, Your Honor.
This is ridiculous! The accident took place within an Arcane refinery. Those traces could have easily come from the purification process.
Miss Steelwind, these traces were only found on the guardrails that Justin broke. We didn't find them anywhere else. We can't be certain of what happened. but it's clear that a mage used magic near the scene of the accident. Foul play may have been involved. So my theory that of another person falling to a vat is entirely possible. My client is not at fault for the guardrail breaking. Considering this shocking revelation, there is still much we do not know about Justin Way's death. With that said, I have no choice but to suspend the trial of Von Sanctus versus Dracogen.
You had a feeling that this would happen. Just like your other cases, the court won't pass a verdict until the culprit is found.
The court will give the Arcane Inquisition time to investigate the scene and these supposed magical traces. We will resume the trial in 2 days' time. Court is adjourned.
Well, at least we survived the first day. But it kind of feels like we're back to square one.
Yeah.
The Inquisition will get involved. They know that magic has played a role in what happened. If you want them to dismiss the case against Dracogen, you're going to have to find out exactly what happened. If that's even possible.
Ugh.
Hey, are you okay?
You feel a headache come on.
Yeah, I think I'm just tired.
Well, this day has been exhausting. It's pretty late. Should we just head back to the inn and continue the investigation tomorrow?
No. I want to take another look at the refinery before the Inquisition gets there. Ugh!
The throbbing pain in your skull seems to disagree with you doing that.
Yeah, no. We're heading back to the inn.
I'm fine. Really.
Tyrion, I know you're anxious about the trial, but you need to get some rest.
Celeste, it's fine.
It's not. You're going to work yourself.
Would you just stay out of my way?
Again, your voice came out louder than you meant for it to.
Fine, whatever. Do what you want.
It's this damn city. Being back here is really getting to you. That's all the more reason to get through this trial as soon as possible. The soreness in your head doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Perhaps she's right. You'll be better off investigating the scene after some rest. Another nightmare overtakes your sleep. You clutch the note tightly in your hands as you read it.
I'm sorry, Tyrion. There were so many things that I wanted to tell you. So many things that I wanted to show you. But I'm afraid I can't do that now. I need you to be strong now. This world is bleak, merciless, and unforgiving. But I've seen you. I know how bright the light within you is. Use my eyes. Peer beyond the divine gates as I once did. Use it to reclaim the future. Her eyes? I don't know. I don't understand.
It doesn't matter. All you have to do is stop the execution. If you can just distract the knights long enough, you can save her and run away. You'll have to abandon your home, but at least she'll still be with you. As you try sprinting towards the gallows, a knight grabs your arm and pulls you back. Hey kid, you can't cross this point. Hey, stop that! You effortlessly try to break his grip by striking him with your bare hands, but he barely feels anything through his armor. You continue delivering blow after blow to him, but it does nothing. Your knuckles start to bleed. Irritated by your behavior, the knight pins you to the ground. Damn kid. You desperately struggle against him to no avail, and from this position you have no choice but to watch what's happening.
Oh wait! Stop!
You make eye contact with your mother one last time. Her body goes limp. You stare blankly at the hanging body.
No, this isn't... Mom?
You clutch her note tightly in your hand. You feel a comforting yet fleeting warmth from it.
Mom! Tyrion?
Celeste?
You snap back awake. It was another nightmare. You notice that the tears are streaming down your face. You quickly try to bring up your sleeve to wipe them away, but you realize that Celeste is firmly gripping your hand.
What? Why are you...
Sorry. You were shouting your sleep, but you seemed to calm down a little whenever I held your hand, so I've been doing that.
Oh, that's where the feeling was coming from. Oh.
Tyrion, are you okay?
You're not.
You've been acting weird ever since we arrived in Oranax. It's nothing. It's not nothing! Does it have something to do with your mother? For the past 2 nights, you've been calling out for her in your sleep. Please, just talk to me. I'm your friend, aren't I?
You've never even realized it. You didn't have many people in your life after you left Oranax. You only had Miss Tamora, and she never wanted to talk about what happened. But Celeste, she's been there since you started your career. Of course, she's your friend.
It all happened a long time ago. We lived here together in that old house. My mother was a merchant, and a mage. Your mother was a mage? But I guess the gift of magic skipped my generation. I could never use it. About 10 years ago, my mother's business partner was found murdered, and they found traces of magic at the crime scene. And they thought your mom did it. Miss Tamora was my mother's defense attorney for the trial. She did everything she could to get her acquitted, but she could never find the real culprit. They found her guilty of first-degree murder. I tried to stop her execution, but...
Your voice starts breaking.
Tyrion. I'm sorry, Celeste. What? Coming back here has brought back so many memories. I thought that I moved on from what happened. If I could just keep saving people as an attorney, maybe I could put all of this behind me. But I'm back in Oranax and those feelings are still so fresh in my mind. It's like I'm still in the same powerless... It's like I'm still the same powerless child from 10 years ago. I know that I've been taking that out on you. I'm really sorry. Don't be. I get it. I know what it's like to lose someone like that.
She does, doesn't she?
When my dad was murdered, you were there for me. If it weren't for you, I would have still believed that he died hating me. Celeste,
Celeste slowly clasps your hands with hers again. It feels warm and comforting. Has this been the warmth you've been feeling for the last few nights?
So, just let me be there for you.
You can feel yourself dozing off. You have to snap yourself back awake.
Sorry. The last few days have been a little tiring. It's okay. Just focus on falling asleep. I'll stay with you as long as you need me to. I'm also feeling pretty tired though. I'll just rest my eyes a bit.
For the first time since your arrival in Oranax, you finally receive a good night's rest. You wake up the next morning feeling well rested. You feel almost a little too rested. You feel really reluctant to leave the comfort of your bed.
Celeste, are you there?
Your hand feels warm. Ooh, CG. You can feel your heart stop.
Celeste? What do you want?
Her eye slowly opens as she wakes from her equally restful sleep. She drowsily scans her surroundings. You both dart out of the bed.
So... You seem to be doing better. You're okay, right? Yeah. Thank you for last night.
Poor phrasing.
Hello? Are you there, Mr. Cuthbert? Ah, what the hell?
Your soul nearly jumps out of your body. You suddenly hear Aster's voice, and it's extremely loud. You look around to see where he is, but he's nowhere to be found.
Aster? Ah, thank the scaled lords, I've finally gotten through to you two. What? Where are you? I'm using a spell to speak with you right now. I apologize for contacting you in this manner, but I was worried something that had happened to you two. Right. Of course. Anyways, what do you want at this time of day? This time of day? Mr. Cuthbert, it's 3 PM in the afternoon. What?
3 PM, you missed the entire morning.
I hope everything's okay. Did something happen? No, everything's okay. Anyways, if it's already this late, we should head over to the refinery. Yes, the investigation. Let's do that, immediately.
Celeste immediately power walks out of the room. You quickly follow after her.
If you're heading to the refinery, do you mind if I meet with you two? There's something I'd like to ask you. Sure. Wonderful. I'll see you at the town square.
You quickly meet Aster in the town square while you walk to the refinery. You and Celeste walk to your destination with purpose. A little too much purpose. It's almost as if you're both trying to distract yourselves from something. Every time you make eye contact with Celeste, she quickly glances away. Things are a little awkward, but you much prefer this over the tense mood between you two yesterday.
Anyways, Aster, what was the spell you used earlier? It let you speak with us without being there. Oh, that was a conjuration spell. It's called Send Message. I figure it's going to be using something that's sending. I just feel a little bit uneasy that you can just contact us out of the blue like that.
More importantly, you're a little worried about what you might have seen.
Don't worry, the spell is perfectly harmless. I can give you the parameters if you like.
But there is a 30-foot radius. You can hear the caster's voice, okay.
Can also hear sounds close to the target. Oh. A target must be known to the caster, the target must also be conscious, otherwise the spell will fail. Alternatively, the target can be an object that is attuned to the caster's magic. Okay.
It looks like it only facilitates communication. He definitely didn't see the embarrassing state that you two were in.
By the way, I'm not trying to be rude, but why are you following us?
Oh, yes. I was still trying to think of the proper method to ask you. But you both seem on edge at the moment. What do you want to ask us? You already told me about the traces of transmutation at the refinery, but the trial yesterday really highlighted the significance of that. I can't simply stand by if I was a witness to a murder. And... May I join you on your investigation?
You're questioning his motives for a variety of reasons. He was the only other mage at the scene of the crime, and between him and Rika, you definitely trust Rika more.
Alright, I don't see no reason why not.
Celeste shoots you a concerned look. You suddenly gesture for her to keep an eye on Aster. She nods in acknowledgement. Aster is your prime suspect right now, and he has to be aware of that. But if you keep him close to you, you might catch something dissident through the thoughts. Dissident thoughts through the eye. You arrive at the refinery and see several knights from the Inquisition have already arrived. Hold on, be right back.
Alright, I'm back.
Alright. You arrive at the refinery and see that several knights from the Inquisition have already arrived. You glance at the damaged walkway and see Commander White there with a few of his knights. He seems to notice you too, but he only pays you a passing glance. Oh, Mr. Cuthbert, I've been waiting for you. For quite a while, I might add. May I add.
Right. Sorry about that.
I suppose you have your reasons, and you prove it more yourself worthy of my trust. Although... Dracogen gives Aster a suspicious slight glance. He appears to have come to the same conclusion as you did. Well, you've given me little reason to doubt your judgment. I will leave the investigation in your capable hands.
Speaking of the investigation, where should we start first?
Now that we've gotten the Inquisition involved, we might be able to learn more about the magical traces at the crime scene.
You look at Commander White, who is inspecting the walkway. He is probably your best bet for getting more information about the investigation. I'm quite pleased with your work during the trial. I'm glad I put my trust in you.
Thank you. But we're still a long way from getting your case dismissed. And showing the possibility of a murder definitely made things much more complicated.
I see no reason to blame yourself. You merely played the cards that you were dealt. Honestly, I'm still trying to make sense of what happened.
Do you have any idea who the second victim might be?
I have no idea, but all of my other employees are accounted for. I doubt that there was anyone who worked for me.
But then who was it?
To be perfectly honest, I'm a little concerned with how many unauthorized people were there that day. He has a point. It seems strange that Justin, Rieker, and Morrison were all there. Oh, it's you two. And who's this? What? Wait, the hell?
Commander, please don't.
What the hell are you two doing with the Crown Prince?
What?
It appears that my cover has been blown, as they say.
Did he just say that you're the Crown Prince?
Yes. My full name is Aster de Wivengard IV, heir to the throne of Wivengard. Yep, it's the big man himself.
This entire time, you've been speaking to the heir to the throne.
I was hoping that it wouldn't come to this.
Oh, sorry, Majesty.
Please, none of that. I would much prefer if you all continue to call me Aster.
No, I could never. You've never seen the commander this flustered before.
Why did you need to find the need to hide this from us? I didn't want you to think less of me. I admire your work, Mr. Cuthbert, which is why I was afraid you wouldn't speak to me if you knew the truth.
In a way, he was correct to assume that. As a member of the royal family, he represents everything that you and Mr. Moore are fighting against. But he does look like a sincere and genuine person. At the very least, you haven't seen anything incriminating through the eye of Horus. Anyway, this complicates things greatly. Aster is your primary suspect, so if he did commit a murder, you would have to implicate a member of the royal family. A nobleman is one thing, but would it even possible to convict the Crown Prince? Well, no matter what, you won't stop seeking justice. It doesn't matter who you're facing, be they man, king, or god. And princess aside, you came to talk to the commander about his investigation. Since Aster is accompanying you, he might be more inclined to share details with you.
I'm surprised that the Inquisition is even here. I thought you were all busy investigating Aster's missing ship.
Wait, you know about that? The commander glances nervously at Aster. We wanted to put more of our people there, but Lady Steelwind insisted that we focus on the Dracogen case.
As you should. I would much rather have you find justice for Justin Wayne. That's far more important than looking for some musty old ship.
Right. Is this kid for real?
Have you discovered anything about the magical traces here?
We did take a look at it, and it's definitely suspicious. The only rails with magical traces on them are these, and the fact that we can see them means that they were left within the last 48 hours. It's looking pretty likely that someone used transmutation on these rails that night. It still doesn't make sense.
It still doesn't make sense though. Why would someone weaken these rails specifically?
I have no idea. I'm just as confused as you are. If this really is foul play, then someone knew that Justin or some other person would be in this exact place.
Has the Inquisitors found any evidence to prove my theory?
You mean about the second person falling into the vat? Sorry kid, but this ain't that simple. The body of that Justin fella sort of dissolved.
That's quite gruesome.
If another person had fallen in, their body would have dissolved too. But we can only find some bone fragments, blood, and a lot of metallic shards.
Have you been able to use divination magic to identify the bone fragments?
Yup. The ones we found all belong to Justin Wayne. No signs of bones from another person.
There wasn't any evidence of another person falling in?
Got your theory have been incorrect then.
Are you sure that you and Miss Morrison saw a person fall into the vat aster? Wait, this is Tyrion. Are you sure that you and Mr. Morrison saw a person fall into the vat aster? I definitely saw someone fall off the walkway and break the guardrails. Although, thinking back on it, I didn't recognize who exactly that person was. The Harbor Master and I were pretty far away, and it wasn't well lit.
Do you think the second victim's body fully dissolved? That might explain why we can't find any bone matter from them.
No. If my theory is correct, then the second victim fell minutes after Justin fell. It wouldn't make sense if that person's body fully dissolved before Justin's.
But then why can you find any bone matter of the second person?
Either way, Dracogen might want to hear about this.
If the liquid is volatile, how were you able to keep things out of the vat? Oh, the liquid isn't volatile anymore. When the Harbor Master and I reported where we saw, the workers poured some sort of alchemical solution into the vat.
Yeah, according to them, the solution neutralized the evocation magic of those chemicals. From what I hear, the magical liquid in the vats is usually blue. The solution that they poured in turned it green.
Yes, unfortunately it was too late. By the time they neutralized the liquid, Justin's body had already mostly dissolved.
And if they had neutralized it so quickly, we probably wouldn't have found anything from the victim.
Aha, something to note. I still can't believe you've been the Crown Prince this entire time. I wasn't trying to deceive you. I was just worried that you might treat me different if you knew the truth.
Oh, right. Should I call Steelwind over here for you? She'll probably want to see you.
No, I think it would be best if you didn't.
Oh, I remember now. If you're the Crown Prince, that makes Prosecutor Steelwind your fiancé.
Uh-huh. Right, Lady Freyja mentioned that during the Nightgrave case. That's why the name Aster sounded so familiar. You saw it in her thoughts.
That Miriam, she caused me so much trouble by publicly revealing my marriage to Lady Steelwind. I had hoped to keep it a secret for much longer. Where's Prosecutor Steelwind anyways? She's always investigating these crimes herself.
She says she wanted to investigate the disappearing ship personally. She seems really hell-bent on finding the people responsible. They did attempt to kidnap the Crown Prince after all.
Aw, she must really care about you, Aster.
No, I highly doubt that.
Sad. What?
Our marriage was arranged by our parents. She had no say in the matter, and I know that she only tolerates me for the good of our kingdom.
I'm sure she still cares about you.
No, I can tell by the way she behaves around me. Her hands quiver with rage, and she can't even bear to look at me when I speak to her.
Damn. I can't believe she even treats the Crown Prince like that.
She may be my fiancé, but our marriage is purely political. She endures so much because of her name.
I guess you aristocrats have your own share of problems.
If the liquid is so volatile, how are you able— oh, no. Okay, I already did.
Repario Arcanum.
Dracogen, we spoke to the Inquisition about what they found in the vat, and they could only find bone matter belonging to Justin. Well, that and several metallic shards.
What? That can't be right.
I know. I was hoping to find some hard evidence to prove my theory. I have to find another approach to prove it.
No, that's not what I meant. There shouldn't be any solid matter in those vats.
Are you talking about the metallic shards? I just assumed there was some kind of magical byproduct.
No, the refinement process requires that everything in the vat remains a liquid. Solid matter would absorb the liquid's magical properties and taint the entire batch.
So those metal shards aren't supposed to be there? Do you think they came from that broken pieces of the railing?
Possibly. You'll probably want to double check with the commander to make sure.
But this is definitely strange. You'll need to take a moment to work through all of this.
From what Dracogen said, there shouldn't be any solid matter in those vats. We already confirmed that the bone matter they found came from Justin's body. But that leads another question. How did they appear in the vat? Where did metallic shards come from? A metal object was thrown into the vat. A metal object was thrown into the vat.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Whatever that object was, it probably dissolved into the shards that Orm found.
That's the thing, though. What should the magic liquid have done to the object? The magical liquid in the vat was extremely volatile. It was destructive enough to reduce an entire body to a few shards of bone. Destroyed the metal object. The object would have been completely destroyed. We shouldn't have found any metal shards in the first place.
Right, but we did find them. How do you explain that?
Why wasn't it fully destroyed? That night something happened that prevented the metal object from being fully destroyed. No. No. Why didn't the metal object do that? Let's neutralize. Today. No. No? When Astor and Morrison reported the accident, the workers immediately neutralized the liquid's magic. They did this to attempt to save Justin, but it would have stopped the liquid from destroying anything else within the vat.
So that's why you found those metal shards.
And whatever that metal object was, it was only partially destroyed. That means it had fell into the vat around the same time that Justin fell into the vat. If it fell a while before the accident, it would have dissolved completely. And if it fell after the accident, it wouldn't have dissolved at all. Furthermore, whatever that object was, it was probably as large as Justin.
Do you think that this metal object has something to do with the second victim? Maybe they were holding it when they fell in.
I'm not sure, but it's definitely possible. We should take a closer look at the metallic shards that Commander White found. Those shards might help us identify the second victim.
If that person even exists.
Commander White, you mentioned that you found several metallic shards in the vat. Do you mind if we take a look at them?
Sure, just don't get any bright ideas about taking anything. You'll also want to avoid touching them with your bare hands. The liquid is neutralized, but it definitely ain't good for your skin. The commander motions to one of the Inquisition Knights. After a few moments, he brings back a large barrel filled with metallic shards.
What? There were that many?
What could have possibly fallen into the vat?
Well, I guess we should get started.
You spent some time closely inspecting the metallic shards with Celeste. The shards are only the size of small rocks, and it's difficult to find any discerning features.
Any luck on your end?
No, I haven't found...
Celeste?
I think I found something. I'm not exactly sure what it is, though.
Celeste pulls out a metallic shard with some sort of engraving on it. Unlike the other shards, this one looks far less damaged. The engraving looks like some sort of crest.
That's the crest of House von Sanctus.
Isn't he that noble that's charging Dracogen?
Oh shit. Well, I doubt that Lord von Sanctus was the second victim. Master, do you know who would have a house emblem like this? Normally, only the Lord's Retainers would have the emblems of his house. Well, I doubt that Justin was the one who had this in his possession. Oops.
Do you think one of von Sanctus's retainers fell into the vat last night?
It's definitely possible, but if that did happen, why haven't we heard of it? Lloyd von Sanctus would have the resources to keep something like that out of the public eye. The only way to know for sure would be to ask him ourselves. But even if we could talk to him, he would never cooperate with us.
You glance at the prince. Something of his station would have no trouble meeting with Lord von Sanctus. An idea begins to form in your mind.
Unless... What is it, Mr. Cuthbert? Master, do you think you can help us interrogate Lord von Sanctus? Really? You need my help? In this instance, it'll be very difficult to speak to him by ourselves. But as the Crown Prince, he'd be much more inclined to speak with you. Of course, I'd be happy to help.
You might be overplaying your hand by utilizing Aster this way. You're still wary of the prince, especially since he was one of the few mages at the sea.
Will this really work though?
It's not ideal, but it's the only lead we have so far.
But it still bothers you. Why haven't you found any bone matter from a second person? Maybe you're overthinking it. You should pursue every lead and see where it takes you. And to do that, you need to find out where Lord von Sanctus is.
So this is the von Sanctus house.
It'd be more appropriate to call this building a palace rather than a house.
Ugh, what's that smell?
As you head further into the matter, you're hit with a very pungent and sour odor. It almost burns the interior of your nostrils every time you inhale.
Well, we're here.
You look around the matter and don't see anyone nearby.
It looks like his Lord Sanctus isn't home at the moment. Perhaps we should try looking somewhere else.
A long flight of stairs leads to the upper parts of the von Sanctus's manor. You're a bit tempted to snoop around, but it'd be best not to take such risks.
Repario Arcanum.
No magic, okay.
Rika, are you here?
You enter Rika's cafe and find the place completely empty. You see a sign on the front door. It reads closed for the day. Today.
It looks like she's closed the restaurant for today.
Since the Inquisition is involved now, they might have taken her for questioning. I only wanted to go into detail about what she saw, but looks like we'll have to go somewhere else. We mustn't let such idealistic notions throw our nation into chaos.
You arrive at the town square and see Lord Von Sanctus speaking to several spectators from a podium.
There's Lord Von Sanctus?
He appears to be giving some sort of speech.
You do your best to remain hidden from his view while you listen in.
Please understand, the actions of the nobility seem callous. However, we will only have your best interests at heart. This controversy with the Dracogen Trading Company is just one of many examples. These so-called unions that men like him support may seem appealing, but they only obfuscate and hinder the nobility from protecting the working class. Men like Stefanik Dracogen are merely charlatans. They only seek financial gain by strong-arming your true benefactors.
True benefactors? What a joke.
I knew that Von Sanctus was wary of Dracogen, but I never expected him to be this zealous about getting rid of him. I think it's less about Dracogen specifically and more what he represents. What do you mean? The Dracogen Trading Company has presented a tangible proof that its policies are both effective and profitable. Even businesses that have no affiliation with them have started following his example. Von Sanctus is merely a relic of the past, and I think he knows that his archaic ideals won't survive in this landscape. I can only hope that our Grand Kingdom recognizes this danger as I have.
The pompous noble leaves the podium as the citizens ponder his words. Ugh, what a load of garbage. It's obvious that Von Sanctus knows his days are numbered.
But look at what happened. We let the common folk set their own standards, and a young man died.
I guess you have a point there. You saw Von Sanctus get into a carriage shortly after his speech. It appears to be heading back to his manor.
Anyways, we saw Von Sanctus heading back here. We should be able to speak with him soon.
Wait, Tyrion? Isn't he gonna recognize us?
We can't really avoid that. If we want to question him, we need to speak to him directly. But even a noble like him would have to act civilly when the Crown Prince present.
You mean how, like, you civilly embarrassed and insulted him a few days ago?
Right, you completely forgot about the chess tournament.
Well, it's not as if we can hide our identities from him. I faced him in the chess tournament, and I'm Dracogen's attorney. He knows what we look like.
What do we look like? Wait, that's it!
What?
Illusio.
Oh, wait. What are you... Wow. That's quite impressive, Celeste.
Right? I've been practicing that one.
What are you two talking about? I think you should see for yourself.
The prince gestures towards a nearby mirror in the hallway. You reluctantly approach it. Just what exactly did you expect did Celeste do to you?
What? Why do I look like Reese Rudolph?
It looks great, right? Ares taught that one to me.
Do you honestly expect him to fall for this? He's probably a powerful mage. He'll see right through this. Are you telling me that the Crown Prince is here? Why did you notify me sooner?
You hear Von Sanctus shouting at his attendant from down the hallway. He seems to be quickly heading this way.
Uh-oh.
You might want to disguise yourself as well, Celeste.
Don't encourage her. This is extremely illegal. Right,
Look, you should just dispel this ridiculous disguise and... He's almost here. He's almost here.
I can't think of anyone.
I'm terribly sorry for keeping your highness waiting.
Lucio.
What did you disguise yourself as? What was that? What are you talking about? I could have sworn I heard something. Oh my god. Oh my god. She's impersonating Steelwind again? I didn't hear anything either. You must be imagining things. This scared Lord help us. Of all people she could have chosen. At least she's able to mimic her voice well enough. Oh, Lady Steelwind. I wasn't expecting you until much later. Well, I do not answer to you. I shall do as I shall please. Yes, I suppose you have a habit of doing that.
Surprisingly, it doesn't look like he's seen through your disguises. He must have other things on his mind if his god is down like this.
Anyways, Lord Von Sanctus, pardon the abrupt intrusion. I came by to pay my respects. I'm honored by your majesty's presence. Unfortunately, I'm quite busy with administrative matters at the moment. Too busy to show hospitality to the heir to the throne. Oh, I wasn't... I suppose I have some time to speak with you.
The conditions aren't ideal, but at least you have Von Sanctus here with you. You should let Prince Aster make small talk with him for a bit. After that, you can subtly bring up the Von Sanctus crest that you found in the vat.
I heard about the charges you brought against the Dracogen Trading Company. Forgive my bluntness, but is everything well with your estate? Oh, that. I am simply cleaning house, nothing more. I've dealt with plenty of men like Dracogen before, and this time will be no different. I understand that he may be taking business away from you. But does that really warrant you to take such drastic measures? It's not just about his business. It's these ideals that he's putting into people's hearts. He's allowed these unions to continue existing, and other businesses are following his example. It's absolutely absurd. It's as if the entire world has gone mad. I see. Our society only functions when the low class knows their place. If that's how society functions, then perhaps it is flawed. You're still young, Prince Aster. These righteous ideals may sound appealing, but they are the path to disorder. The common folk do not care about the well-being of our kingdom as a whole. They only care about themselves individually. I feel like that's the other way around. If we allow them to become empowered, they will use that power selfishly. It is up to the upper class to maintain order. I see. Are you sure it's not the other way around? By the way, I'm surprised you're representing Lord Von Sanctus, Lady Steelwind.
Oh, right.
What is he doing? It's already hard to maintain this ruse.
I knew that you recently became a prosecutor, but I never imagined that you'd represent a noble.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Aster.
What does that even mean?
Let's not be coy, Lady Steelwind. If you must know, your majesty, House Steelwind and I came to an arrangement. Yet the fair lady is so keen on wasting her talents on civil work. Given that, I might as well utilize her to my benefit. Do not speak to her like that. Oh, I mean no disrespect, but rest assured, this is only temporary. I see. So you have an arrangement with Lucio Steelwind.
He's nervous.
It seems that Aster is collecting his own information.
By the way, Lord Von Sanctus, have any of you heard your have any of your attendants gone missing lately? That's an oddly specific question. But no, all of my attendants are accounted for.
You don't see any dissonant thoughts from the eye, but he could be unconsciously shielding himself from it.
I must ask, why would you ask such a question? You see, I actually found a discarded trinket while walking around the city. It had the crest of House Von Sanctus on it. I was worried that something unsavory might have happened to one of your people. Ah, I see. I suppose you must be on edge after what happened to your ship. However, items with the Von Sanctus crest are quite common nowadays. Really? The item that you found must have been a product produced by Von Sanctus Industries.
An item produced by Von Sanctus Industries?
So the Von Sanctus crest is on some of the items produced by your company. Not just some of the items. The Von Sanctus crest is engraved on every product created by Von Sanctus Industries. As a result, people have come to associate the quality of our products with the quality of House Von Sanctus. Or at least they did until hacks like Dracogen came out of this woodwork.
So in other words, it's just branding.
What type of products does Von Sanctus Industries produce?
We used to produce magical accessories for mages, but now we produce all manner of products. As the head of commerce in our kingdom, we diversified our holdings.
Oh. Ugh, that means that metal shard could have come from anything. Seems like this line of questioning led to a dead end. Damn it. Is it really impossible to identify where that shard came from? Do you sell your products to the Dracogen Trading Company?
Yes, of course I do. Despite my misgivings with Dracogen, it would be foolish of me if I didn't do business with them. That means there are Von Sanctus products in the Arcane refinery. You called Von Sanctus Industries after all.
That's true, the metal shards could have been from some sort of industrial tool.
Just what are you implying, Lady Steelwind? He's getting nervous.
A twinge of nervousness through the eye. Does he know something? Why would he get so defensive over a question like that?
Was there a Von Sanctus product in the refinery on the night of the murder?
Oh. She misspoke and said murder instead of accident. But that is evoking a reaction.
Answer the question, Von.
Celeste attempts to loudly slam the tip of her cane on the ground, only to realize that her cane isn't actually real. She loses her balance and tips over a nearby vase. Oh my god. The vase shatters on the ground, creating quite a mess of broken shards and water. Oh my god.
Oh, that's funny. So, Lady Steelwind, are you okay?
Celeste immediately regains her balance and tries to act as if nothing happened.
I'm not paying for that.
Huh. Lord Von Sanctus completely loses his composure and recoils at the sight of the broken vase.
Construct, I require your assistance. Acknowledged.
In response to Von Sanctus' call, an arcane construct walks out from a nearby closet.
Construct, clean up this mess at once.
He seems very disturbed by the mess. Is he some sort of clean freak?
Acknowledged.
The construct begins to quickly pick up the shards of the broken vase.
You own an arcane construct? I do. Von Sanctus Industries is the inventor of arcane constructs, after all.
Right, you recall Celeste mentioning that earlier.
Would you like one, Your Highness? My apologies, I'm not very interested in using artificery. Suit yourself. In any case, I'm afraid Lady Steelwind must be taking your leave now. What? Remember, you said that you could only accompany me for 1 hour. It's close to being 1 hour, right, Lady Steelwind? What are you... Oh, right, 1 hour. It would definitely not be good for us to be here for more than 1 hour.
Oh, does the illusion only last for an hour?
In the meantime, may I discuss some personal matters with you, Lord Von Sanctus? Of course, I'm at your disposal, Your Majesty.
You raise an eyebrow at the prince. It appears he didn't come here to just help you. But you suppose they've gotten all the information you need out of Von Sanctus. It's time to move on to the next lead.
That was embarrassing. Yeah, that was a bit too close for comfort. Well, at least no one saw through our disguises.
Oh shit. Oh, and there's the actual Steelwind. Oh no.
Ah, are you unintended here? Please notify Lord Von Sanctus that I...
The real Arya Steelwind walks through the front door of the manor just as you're about to exit. She immediately stops to track them with meeting her doppelganger.
Aburio.
With one spell, Steelwind dispels the illusions over you and Celeste. Upon seeing who you really are, she lets out an irritated sigh.
Is impersonating the Steelwind some kind of hobby for you, Miss McCoy?
She looks really angry this time.
No. There was a really good reason for us doing this. Let me guess, you wanted to interrogate Von Sanctus without him knowing who you really were. No. Lying about your name is one matter, but impersonating a nobleman using magic is a serious crime. Tyrion, help please?
Are you
seriously gonna have me defend her in court again?
You clearly try to think of a way to defuse the situation.
Ah, sorry for the wait, you two. I had to discuss... Lady Steelwind? Great. According to Aster, Steelwind despises him. Knowing that he was a part of this will make his things even worse. Your Majesty! Why is he here?
What?
Oh, I see you dispelled the disguises. You knew about this?
Aster steps between you and Steelwind. It seems that he's trying to calm her down. For better or for worse, her attention is firmly focused on him.
I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect you. No, that's not why He's really close.
Are you sure she despises you?
pulled this ruse under my orders. Could you please look the other way, just this once?
Okay.
Thank you, Lady Steelwind. I won't forget this. Oh my god.
I need to go.
Well, that was certainly something.
I'm sorry you two had to see that.
What?
It is as I said before, she absolutely detests me. You saw it, didn't you? She could barely look at me in the eye.
Oh my god.
In any case, we're starting to run out of time. We should head back to the refinery.
But we still don't know where the metal shard came from.
From what Von Sanctus told us, I don't think we can find out exactly where it came from. If each of Von Sanctus's products has that crest, it could be on any number of things. But hopefully, Dracogen can help us narrow that list down. If it did come to some kind of industrial tool, he might be able to check it if any of the refinery tools are missing.
You just hope that he can provide you with some kind of lead. Hello again, Mr. Cuthbert. I hope you have good news.
Well, actually...
You take some time to explain to Dracogen what you found during your investigation. You're still uncertain about the identity of the second victim. The metal shard with the Von Sanctus crest is your best lead right now. I see.
Well, that said, do you have any tools that you purchased from Von Sanctus Industries?
I do. He personally sold me quite a few when I first arrived in the city. I even purchased the security system for the refinery building from him.
Really? Did you purchase anything else from him?
Well, he also tried selling me some of those arcane constructs. He told me I could be the first person in Oranax to own such an innovative technology, but I turned him down.
Really? But they seem so useful.
I don't feel comfortable trusting machines to handle the work here. Those constructs require very specific instructions, and they lack common sense.
That's true. We saw how unreliable they could be during the Nightgrade case.
He heavily emphasized how exclusive this deal would be for me. Looking back on it, he was probably trying to make me depend on his services.
Yeah, I guess you made the right choice by refusing his offer.
Okay. A lot of tools he got from him, okay.
Anyways, have any of the tools from Von Sanctus Industries have been reported missing?
The Inquisition actually asked me the same question, so I took some time today to check my inventory.
Why would the Inquisition ask him for that? Did Steelwind come to the same conclusion that you did? Oh, that I did? Oh, yeah.
There was one tool that was unaccounted for.
Really? What kind of tool is it?
A rod of mending. It's a launch tool that we use to repair damage on the machines.
A tool for repairs? How large was it?
Quite large, actually. It's called a rod, but it's more of a large cylindrical tool. It requires 2 people to properly carry and use it.
Wait, a repair tool like that would use transmutation magic, right?
Oh shit.
That's right.
What if the rod of mending was the thing that weakened the guardrail?
Is that possible, Dracogen?
I suppose that is possible. Now that you mention it, I recall there being a way to reverse its effects. You never even considered that the transmutation traces were left by an artificery tool. That does lift some suspicion off Aster. Okay.
Someone could have sabotaged the rail with the rod, and they might have thrown it into the vat to cover their tracks.
But it didn't completely dissolve. That would mean that they threw in the rod close to when Justin fell off in the walkway. It can't be a coincidence that those two events happened so close to each other.
And we still have no idea who actually broke the guardrail. We didn't find a second body in the vat, and we don't even have evidence that proves a second victim even exists.
I feel as if we have more questions than answers at the moment.
We've learned a few new facts about the case, though. And the Inquisition has verified the traces of transmutation on the guardrail. The burden of the proof is still on the prosecution to prove that Dracogen is at fault. Even if Steelwind has a proper explanation for that, I can counter her with the facts that we learned thus far.
I just hope the trial goes as smoothly as you're describing. It rarely ever does, but knowing that would just needlessly stress him out. Regardless, I appreciate the work you've done thus far. I'll leave things in your very capable hands. We just hope you don't encounter any more curveballs tomorrow.
Yes, please. I would like to say before I completely ragdoll Arya across the court. Again.
Court is now resumed for this trial of Stefanik Dracogen. Let us review the proceedings from 2 days ago. At first, the facts of the case seemed very straightforward. The victim, Justin Wayne, put his weight on a poorly maintained guardrail on the refinery grounds. Said guardrail broke, causing Justin Wayne to fall to his death. However, the defense presented a shocking piece of evidence in the previous proceedings. The traces of transmutation magic were found on the same broken guardrail. This new evidence implies the sabotage, if not outright foul play, played a part in the death of the victim. This evidence was also accompanied by conflicting testimonies from witnesses. All of these elements have thrown quite some doubt on the validity of the prosecution's case.
Yes, however, the prosecution maintains that the Dracogen Trading Company is at fault for Justin Wayne's death.
Even though someone may have sabotaged the guardrails?
The prosecution acknowledges that the sabotage may have occurred at the scene of the accident. However, we also believe that there are several factors in this case that the court is overlooking. As we all know, several witnesses were present at the refinery at the time of the accident. The harbor master was showing a patron around the refinery. Mosorika Tudor was making a food delivery and entered the building. And of course, the victim, Justin Wayne, was obviously present as well. Each and every one of these people have no business being in the refinery that night.
In the case of the harbor master and his patron, it would be hardly reasonable for anyone to stop them.
You doubt anyone would stand in the way of the Crown Prince.
That may be, but Justin Wayne worked in the freight division and should have not been at the scene.
I've already verified this with my client. The victim was not authorized to be in the refinery building.
And who stopped Justin Wayne from entering the area unauthorized? Isn't the defendant's duty to prevent such individuals from entering the building?
My client can't be held responsible for Justin's breach of the set protocols, and you surely can't hold my client responsible for someone sabotaging the guardrail.
This so-called sabotage is only theoretical until a proper culprit is found.
I might be compelled to agree with you, Miss Geowind. After all, there is no hard evidence that proves the traces of transmutation were left by a specific spell.
What kind of mental gymnastics is that? Every part of the guardrail had traces of on it was rusted.
Ugh. They're bending the context of what happened to suit their purposes.
Hard evidence means everything here, and the rod of mending has been reduced to shards in the vat. Without a complete rod, you can't prove someone used it to sabotage the guardrail.
Regardless, it's not the responsibility of the Dracogen Trading Company to ensure that its employees do not wander into restricted areas. Blaming a potential saboteur puts the cart before the horse. It doesn't just stop with Justin Wayne either. Why was Mosorika Tudor able to enter the building? She doesn't even work for the refinery, yet she was able to waltz into the building without any trouble.
Actually, Steelman does have a point about Rika. Should something have stopped her from entering that area? You doubt that Dracogen would show that kind of negligence.
If that's true, I believe we should hear from Miss Tudor directly. Let's hear about how easily she gained access to the refinery on the day of the accident.
We've already anticipated that. Miss Mosorika Tudor is prepared and ready to testify.
Very well then. Bailiff, please escort Miss Tudor to the stand.
Miss Tudor, are you aware that you've been called? Why you've been called here today? Yeah, I heard everything from the gallery. Then you have no problem answering the following question. Did you encounter resistance when you entered the refinery the night of the accident? Witness, may I remind you that you are under oath to tell the court everything that you know. Failure to do so is a crime. No one tried to stop me. Sorry, Tyrion. You have nothing to apologize for, witness. The only one at fault is the Dracogen Trading Company and their negligence. Hey, that's... For the record, please testify in detail about how you entered the refinery that day, Miss Tudor. Okay.
Alright, let's steamroll this.
That day, I was looking for Justin in the freight area, but I couldn't find him. I decided to look for him in the refinery's main building. There was some kind of magical door leading into it, but it was unlocked. Nothing really stopped me from entering the refinery building.
Ah, Justin picked it open.
As the court can clearly see, there were no safeguards preventing the witness from entering that restricted area.
The witness clearly stated that there was a magical door leading into the building. This was obviously some sort of security door powered by artificery,
which was still unlocked and effectively useless.
Damn it, there must be someone to prove that the unlocked door wasn't Dracogen's fault. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. It seems strange that you go looking for him. Why not just leave the food with one of his co-workers?
I thought of that, but I also want to make sure that he was okay. I was the one that helped him get this job in the first place. It wouldn't look good if he left in the middle of a shift. How did you enter the refinery building, Miss Tudor?
It was unlocked. By a magical door, do you mean that it was a door powered by artificery?
Yeah, I have a door like that in my restaurant too. But this one looked a lot more complex.
Why would you or Dracogen need magical doors anyways?
The one in my cafe magically locks the shop when I close it for the day. I guess the door to the refinery was for the same thing.
But that means that there was a mechanism to keep out unauthorized personnel,
which was effectively useless. The witness entered the refinery and encountered zero resistance. Furthermore, the Inquisition has already locked the specs of the door.
Okay, only entrance. Okay, with the artificery locked. Magical keys can be used to unlock the door for 5 seconds. After these 5 seconds, the door automatically closes and engages the lock. The lock can be disabled by Stephanic Dracogen. The door could be physically prevented from closing, but this would trigger an alarm within the refinery security system.
Did you use a key to unlock the door, Miss Tudor? No, I didn't. As you can see from this report, Stephanic Dracogen was the only person capable of disabling the lock. I guess Mrs. Dracogen kept the door unlocked during working hours. This means that it's entirely Dracogen's fault that the victim gained access to the building in the first place. Wait, that's not what I meant to... But that is what you implied, unless you can prove that another person disabled that door.
Actually, yes.
You can't refute that statement. Yet. But you might be able to work with this new information.
Regardless, please add that last statement to your testimony, witness.
Alright.
No one else? Huh, I beg to differ. Where is it? Where's proof that he can... No. Ah, there it is. There it is.
Objection!
Fuck you, bitch, I have evidence. Miss Steelwind, you claim my client expressed negligence by disabling the door. This is the reason why the security door was unlocked, and why the current witness was able to enter the building.
That's correct. Your client's negligence allowed unauthorized persons like Justin Wayne to gain access to the building, and regardless of any sabotage, Justin Wayne died because he was in said unauthorized area.
And what if I told you that another person may have disabled the door? Not because of laziness, but for more nefarious purposes.
What are you talking about?
If you recall, the witness encountered the refinery building and spotted Justin Wayne afterward. This means that Justin Wayne entered the building before her. So that begs the question, how did Justin Wayne enter the building?
The answer is obvious. He entered the same way the witness did, through the unlocked door.
Not quite, Miss Steelwind. Since this trial began, we still haven't answered why Justin entered the refinery building in the first place. He entered the refinery building with the intent of robbing my client's personal safe.
I already told you, Tyrion. You would never do something like that.
You feel a little guilty about insulting a dead man's name like this, but it's the only possibility that makes sense.
I'm sorry, Rika, but there are things about Justin that even you didn't know about. The truth is that he was deeply in debt to a crime lord named the Eye Taker, and he was extremely desperate to wipe that debt as soon as he could.
Crime lord? I won't ask how you came across this information, Mr. Cuthbert, but what does this have to do with the disabled magical lock? Miss Steelman, Justin owned a set of tools they used for picking mundane and magical locks. The safe he was planning to rob was located at my client's office within the refinery building. I have witnesses who saw Justin retrieve those tools shortly before the night of the accident. He clearly had a plan to disable any locks that stood between him and that safe. This means that it's entirely possible that Justin disabled the lock to refinery door illegally. We're not actually going to bring them in, are we? Yeah, I'm kind of bluffing right now. You basically assaulted one of them. We both assaulted them, Tyrion. She says it as if it absolves her of any guilt. Hold on a minute. You can't just accuse him like that when he can't defend himself. I'm sorry, Rika, but his delinquent friends told me about his plan. He didn't want to rob Dragogen, but he needed the gold to wipe away his debt. If Justin wasn't the one who disabled the lock, then that would only leave Dragogen. But there has to be an explanation where neither of them is guilty.
She definitely believes in Justin, but a scenario where both Justin and Dragogen are innocent is too optimistic, if not impossible. But it's not as if you are entirely certain of what happened that day, of what actually happened that day either.
Alright, Rika. You knew Justin better than I did. Let's assume that you're both correct. Neither Justin nor Dragogen disabled the locks that day. How did either of you enter the refinery then? Oh, well, someone must have disabled it before then. Wait, let me think through this. Plenty of people could have disabled the locks. Maybe one of the employees got lazy and forcibly broke it. There was also that nobleman who was with Mr. Morrison. He's a mage and he could have used magic to do it. He could have also been the one with the maintenance constructs. What? Maintenance constructs? I saw one working on the machines. Maybe one of them broke the lock. What? I can barely even point out all of the issues with your theories, Miss Tudor. If you recall, the entrance lock can only be disabled by Stephanic Dracogen. Even Mr. Cuthbert's theories makes more sense than your list of suspects. Ugh, she's right. It doesn't matter how many suspects she presents. None of them had the credentials to disable the locks. So why do you feel like there's something else wrong with her testimony? The fact that there's a construct in the factory? The defense would like to exercise the right to cross-examine the witness. What a waste of time. While the court agrees with Miss Steelwind, we also recognize Mr. Cuthbert's right to cross-examination. However, I will not allow the defense to waste the court's time. If nothing substantial is gained from your cross-examination, I will not hesitate to end it early. Understood, Your Honor. I already found it. There's no fucking constructs. Hold on. Where's the testimony? No. Here. So several. Yeah. Got him. Wait. That can't be right, can it? Rika, you said that you saw a maintenance construct inside the refinery building. Are you sure that it was an arcane construct? Yeah. I've been keeping an eye on them in the Van Sanctus catalogs. But they're not available to the public yet. When you saw this arcane construct, what was it doing? I'm not exactly sure, but it looked like it was doing maintenance on the machines. Maintenance on the machines? But it shouldn't have been there in the first place. What was it doing there? And more importantly, who sent it there? Where are you going with this, Mr. Cuthbert? Arcane constructs only perform actions that they're ordered to do. A construct at our arcane refinery would only take orders from their administrator, Stephanic Dracogen, unless you want to imply that the construct broke the lock on its orders. I agree. A construct owned by my client wouldn't have done that. But arcane constructs are extremely rare and are not available to the general public yet. Furthermore, they are only produced and sold by Von Sanctus Industries. Lloyd Von Sanctus personally sold several products to the Dracogen Trading Company. However, when offered the opportunity to purchase his arcane constructs, my client turned him down. What? My client disliked the construct's flawed intelligence. He didn't want them working in the refinery. He turned down Lord Von Sanctus' order in favor of utilizing human labor. Wait, then why did I see a construct there? Exactly. If my client did not own any constructs, why did the witness see one there? Or to phrase this question differently, who sent that construct there? Who? Why would anyone send an arcane construct to the refinery? First, let's consider the rarity of arcane constructs. They are highly experimental and not available to the public yet. With all the elements in mind, only one person in the city of Aranax could have done this.
Wait, you can't possibly mean...
I do, Miss Steelwind. Lloyd. A few individuals have access to an arcane construct, and even fewer had the ability to disable the locked door without altering the security system. Only one individual could have done everything that I described. Lloyd Von Sanctus, the noble lord of Aranax.
You can't be serious! Are you accusing Lord Von Sanctus of illegally sending a construct into the Arcane refinery? What possible reason would he have to do that?
When Rika saw the construct, she said it was working on the machines, but that construct was sent by Von Sanctus. It didn't actually work for Dracogen. Wait, could that mean?
Rika, when you saw the construct in the refinery, was it carrying anything?
Yeah, actually. It was carrying a large cylindrical machine, and looked pretty heavy.
Like it would normally need to be held by two people?
Yeah, how did you know?
It all makes sense now. Von Sanctus has been far too aggressive in pushing these charges. It wasn't because he was desperate to get rid of Dracogen. It was because he needed to cover up what actually happened.
Mr. Cuthbert, where are you going with this?
You see, Your Honor, the tool that the witness saw the construct was carrying wasn't just any tool. It was a rod of mending, an artificery tool that channels transmutation magic.
Transmutation magic? As in, magic that can be used to weaken and sabotage parts of the refinery?
No. Are you seriously accusing?
Your Honor, Lloyd Von Sanctus sent a construct into the Arcane refinery to sabotage it. In other words, Lloyd Von Sanctus is responsible for that guardrail breaking. Oh my god, oh man, I get my tongue twisted from speaking so fast. I should speak a bit slower.
I think that's enough out of you, you upstart commoner.
The judge really needs to stop these guys from just barging onto the stand.
To be fair, who's going to stop a noble from a Peller family?
I've had enough of these blatant accusations. If you want to sling mud at my name, you will do it to me directly.
Lord Von Sanctus, I would highly advise doing against this, considering this happened literally to two other nobles and they got absolutely fucked over.
Looks at Garrick Pierce, looks at... what was that other noble's name? Oh no, that wasn't a noble, that was the headmaster. Okay, so just Garrett Pierce.
Please, do you think like I'm like that fool Pierce? The defense's theory is laughable, and I have several pieces of evidence that can easily prove my innocence.
He's nervous as fuck.
He has a good poker face, but the eye is telling me that he is a little desperate.
Very well. If the defense wishes to accuse you, I see no harm in allowing you to defend yourself. The court would very much like to hear your testimony on the matter.
Ah yes, I love to see these nobles shoot themselves in the foot.
It is possible to order a construct to complete a complex list of tasks, but doing so is ill-advised. I'm sure you observed this with the Nightgrave trial. Constructs are extremely prone to error when completing a long list of tasks. According to the defense, the saboteur stole a rod of mending and used it to sabotage very specific sections of the refinery. I would never trust a construct to discreetly complete such an intricate set of tasks unsupervised. And before you ask, I was miles away from the refinery at the time of the incident. I had several associates who confirmed this alibi. Therefore, I had no way of observing this construct from afar, nor did I have any way to communicate with it.
Oh, well, that explains why we needed to know this spell. That actually makes a lot of sense. The Nightgrave trial revealed the risks of ordering a construct to commit a crime. But nevertheless, we just saw a construct at the refinery that day. That's indisputable. You definitely gave the construct a complex list of tasks to sabotage the refinery. And that raises one question. How did he account for the construct's error-prone logic? I already know. I already figured it out. Perhaps you were desperate enough to take a chance like that.
Please, I'll admit that I find Dracogen to be a nuisance to my holdings, but I was hardly in a position to resort to such desperate tactics.
That does make sense.
You suppose he was never planning for things to come back to him. If Celeste hadn't cast Detect Magic, no one would have ever known someone used magic within the refinery.
And I suppose you wouldn't mind having these associates testify for the court?
Lord Von Sanctus was discussing the blockade being put around the city. Steelwind?
I won't go into detail about what they discussed, but the King's Guard, City Watch, Arcane Inquisition, and myself were present. We can all confirm that he was present at the meeting, although his behavior was quite erratic that day.
Ugh, how could I not? You people have no care for personal hygiene. It took my retainers hours to disinfect the area.
Can we please stay on subject?
Right, anyways.
Okay, I'm guessing I'm supposed to present the spell. Yeah.
Got him.
Von Sanctus, you testified there was no way for you to observe and communicate with the construct. Am I correct?
Yes. I was at the meeting with Steelwind for that entire day. Anyone there could testify to that fact.
I'm not disputing your so-called alibi, but it's not as airtight as you might think.
What are you talking about? I was there at the meeting, Mr. Cuthbert. Lord Von Sanctus may have been absent in mind, but he was there physically.
Absent in mind, so his attention wasn't focused on the meeting, which means that his attention was somewhere else. I suppose you're correct, Miss Steelwind, but I have one question for you, Lord Von Sanctus.
Huh, and what would that be?
Are you able to cast the send message spell?
What?
Miss Steelwind, your client may have been physically at the meeting, but his attention was somewhere else, wasn't it? He could have used a combination of spells to view the construct during the meeting, and he could have used the send message spell to communicate with it over a large distance. If my client is truly false, then my claim is truly false, your client should have no trouble disproving it with his spell compendium.
Well...
Von Sanctus?
You appear to be hesitating, Von Sanctus. Can I assume that you do know how to cast send message? If so, that would punch a gigantic hole in your alibi.
Steelwind, you were there, weren't you? My attention was fully there. I needed to cover for me. The idea that I was communicating with the construct is absurd.
I'm afraid I can't say that, Lord Von Sanctus.
Steelwind?
I did find it odd. Your attention appeared to be elsewhere, despite the gravity of our discussion, and I seem to recall you speaking under your breath the entire time. I'd always assumed that you were muttering obscenities, but Mr. Cuthbert's explanation does seem possible.
What are you saying? Aren't you obliged to defend me?
I'm obliged to represent you to the best of my ability. I'm not obliged to forge your alibi for you.
You little... Lord Von Sanctus, I'm afraid the court needs an answer. Are you able to cast a send message spell? Fine, I admit it, okay? I am able to cast send message. But that still doesn't prove anything.
His voice betrays a hint of desperation.
Hold on. Alright, there. Okay, sorry. Alright, we're back. You have him right where you want him. Now is our opportunity to deal the final blow. So why do you feel so uneasy? There are still 2 details that don't sit well with you.
I noticed to see what it was. I saw that Justin had tumbled over the guardrail of the walkway.
Rika saw Justin fall over the guardrail, even though Von Sanctus sabotaged it.
Then please enlighten us, Mr. Cuthbert. How could both of their testimonies be possibly true?
Well, I think there's only one possible explanation. Miss Tudor and Mr. Morrison saw someone fall off the railway, off the walkway. But the person that Miss Tudor saw and the person that Mr. Morrison saw were 2 different people. The second person that fell into the vat is still unaccounted for. Oh my god, it's obviously the construct. You wanted to dispose of the evidence, which was the construct. Luckily you didn't need to prove that a second person even existed. But not having an explanation for Astra and Morrison's testimony still irks you. However, even if it's still not a clean ending, there's only one way forward, and that's revealing Von Sanctus for the patty saboteur that he is. Bring it. Why did you hesitate so long to answer my questions, Von Sanctus?
You know very well why I hesitated. Why would I willingly give you evidence? You clearly intend to use it against me.
Regardless, this entirely disproves your alibi. You could have communicated with your construct at the meeting.
By that logic, I could be the mastermind behind every crime that occurs in Outernax. I may have the means to commit this crime, but there are plenty of other individuals that could have sent an arcane construct.
No. What is that? No. Von Sanctus, you of all people should know that the arcane constructs are not available to the public. When you attempted to sell these constructs to Dracogen, you promised him that he would be the first merchant in Outernax that would own one. Since you refused your offer, that would leave you as the only owner of arcane constructs in Outernax.
That's... Well, I admit I may not have been truthful when I made my sales pitch.
So you're saying that you lied to my client?
Oh, please. Every good business knows how to embellish the truth when making a sale.
I've sold constructs to other individuals.
The truth is that I've come to sold those constructs to plenty of other individuals in Outernax.
Yeah, intuition. Frankly, Von Sanctus, I find that hard to believe. After the Nightgrave trial, you must be a lot more fearful about who you sold your constructs to. You only tried to sell your constructs to Dracogen so you could control him. You wouldn't have done that otherwise.
Is that so? Then why did you prove it?
No, Von Sanctus, why don't you prove your statement? Show us any invoice that proves you made a sale to someone in Outernax. Got him.
Well, who says that the saboteur lived in Outernax when I made the sale?
Are you serious?
Outernax is a trading hub. Plenty of people come and go from the city.
The fucking blockade, bitch!
Any one of my customers could have secretly entered the city and carried out the sabotage.
The blockade, motherfucker. Von Sanctus, you might have been right under any other circumstances, but the Kingsguard locked down the city on the day that the accident occurred. No one except for a select few individuals could have left or entered the city, and due to the gravity of the situation, the Kingsguard created profiles of everyone within the city. Why don't we cross-reference the records taken by the Kingsguard with the list of individuals who you sold constructs to,
Shit.
But I suppose from your reaction, that list would come up empty. So why don't you admit your crimes, Von Sanctus? Or do I have to drag the evidence to the court myself?
Wait, drag the evidence to the court? Of course, how could I forget?
What?
Why don't you go ahead and do that, Mr. Cuthbert? Bring in your so-called evidence.
I don't know where this confidence is coming from, but we can easily detect traces of divination and transmutation on the constructs of you own.
Assuming that the construct still exists, that is.
Oh no! Anyway. Wait, that's right! If you used the construct to commit a crime like this, you would have definitely disposed of it by now. Even with the blockade, Outernax is a gigantic city. With his resources, he could have hidden it anywhere in the city. It would have been a needle in it, hidden in the town of Haystacks. We still have testimony of Mosuri Katudor, and I'm sure many other people saw that construct walking around the refinery.
The commodore can hardly be trusted to recognize complex artificery. Without the actual construct, all you have is several unreliable witnesses. Tell me, Lady Sealwyn, can I be convicted of such a serious charge with such evidence?
No, I suppose not. Damn it. Is he seriously gonna get away with this? No, you still have one card up your sleeve. If you could just find out where he disposed of the evidence, you might be able to direct the Inquisition there. Come on. Focus on his thoughts, Tyrion. You don't need to focus on his thoughts, it's pretty obvious. It fell into the vat with Justin. You don't need to use the eye for that. Even I figured it out, and I don't even need an eye for that. Oh, come on, Tyrion. You don't need to use the eye. Oh my god. Bruh. Oh, he can block out. Oh, wait, what do you know? He blocked the eye.
Your undignified glaring will do you no favors.
What? Why isn't it working?
The Eye of Horus is a powerful tool, Tyrion, but that's twice now they've used the empowered eye to get out of a corner. If you keep relying on that one trick, you'll never grow as an attorney. One day you'll find a witness that the empowered eye won't work on.
Mr. Morrow was right.
Mr. Morrow's been right. You've been relying on the empowered eye too much.
From your silence, I assume you have no way to refute my claim. I suppose that makes it checkmate, you upstart commoner. Honestly, I can't believe you'd resort to accusing me of manslaughter. What a crass and underhanded tactic. But I suppose I would expect anything less from a charlatan like you.
Damn it.
What the hell are you doing?
What?
That look on your face. Are you seriously giving up?
I've
seen you get out of plenty of situations like this. So why are you giving up this time?
I'm sorry, Celeste, but I can't use my usual strategies. There's no way to find the evidence that we need.
Seriously? There's always a way, Tyrion. If your usual strategies aren't working, then you just need to do something different.
She's right. You don't need to see directly into his mind to utilize your skills as an attorney. You may not be able to rely on the Eye of Horus this time, but you've always been able to rely on deductive reasoning.
Well, it seems that you have no further questions for me. And you clearly don't have a shred of physical evidence to support your claims. I think I'll be taking my leave.
I'm not quite done with you yet, Von Sanctus.
Honestly, your desperation is almost pitiful. You should really learn to lose with dignity, Mr. Cuthbert.
He's the last person you want to hear that from. Calm your mind and focus. You may not be able to read Von Sanctus' mind in the literal sense, but can still extrapolate his plans and actions. Let's explore my theory a little more and see for ourselves if there is no physical evidence. If you wanted to use a construct, you would have need to maintain constant communication. To prove that this communication occurred, you will need something that connects you to it. The send message can only target a person, but arcane constructs probably don't count as people for the purposes of that spell. What piece of evidence would that leave behind? That fell into. An arcane construct isn't a person, so you must have used an object to attune your magic to communicate with it. Miss Steelwyn, if you were able to find that object, would that tie your client to sabotage?
Hypothetically, yes. The Inquisition has divination magic, and if they can use it to detect if an object is attuned to a specific mage.
Good luck finding such evidence. If I did perform these acts, these remains could be anywhere in Ordonax.
I'm not so sure about that, Von Sanctus. Let's take a look. Let's look at things from your perspective. Why would you do the things that you did that day, knowing that they will point us direct to where you ultimately hit the construct? Your intention was to sabotage the refinery without anyone finding out what you did. So how would you dispose of the construct and the attuned item? The vat. You needed hide and/or destroy so no one would be able to find it. Wait, destroy? Yep. You used the vat of volatile liquid.
You suppose that makes sense. You found remnants of a rod of mending in there too.
But wouldn't that mean that the object is fully dissolved?
Exactly. There will be no physical evidence for you to find.
That's not necessarily true. You threw the rod of mending into the vat, and that didn't fully dissolve.
What?
The workers neutralized the liquid immediately after Justin fell into the vat.
What? Neutralizing that liquid would have rendered it unsalvageable and useless. Doing that would have cost Dragon a small fortune.
Unlike you, Von Sanctus, my client values the lives of his workers over his profits. And because of that, the Inquisition was able to find pieces of bone matter and metal within the vat.
Wait, the rod didn't fully dissolve. This means that this was thrown into the vat around the same time that Justin fell into it.
You wouldn't have thrown the rod into the vat until after you were done with your sabotage. If you wanted to destroy the rod, you would have destroyed all of the evidence that you need to get rid of. What piece of evidence would Von Sanctus was dispose of? The construct.
You would have also destroyed the arcane construct itself. That's ridiculous. Lady Steelwind, why not you?
I told you before, didn't I? I will defend you to the best of my ability, but I will not fabricate an alibi for you.
You must have ordered the construct to throw itself into the vat to hide any traces of your sabotage.
A machine resembling a human threw itself into the vat. This means that anyone looking at the walkway would have seen this.
That's it!
The Arcane construct was the second person that Astor and Morrison saw fall into the vat. That's why we didn't find any organic matter from anyone other than Justin in there. The second body that Astor and Morrison saw was actually an Arcane construct.
How are you?
Wait, Rika was sure that she saw Justin fall off the walkway. After she notified Astor and Morrison, they saw the construct breaking the guardrail and fall into the vat. When that made the construct dispose of itself after Justin Wayne fell off the walkway, why would you order it to do that?
Because it never happened. Your logic is flawed.
He's getting stressed out. Maybe you should try using the Empowered Eye. No, you don't need it at this time. You're so close to figuring this out, you can feel it. So think, if he was observing the construct using magic, he must have seen Justin fall. And for some reason, he reacted by sabotaging the guardrail. Why did he sabotage it? Why would he ignore seeing that happen? Unless he did all of this because he saw Justin fall. He wanted the sabotage to look like an accident. No? He fell off the walkway. Why did he sabotage the guardrail? There we go. It's because you wanted it to look like an accident. Which means that it wasn't actually an accident.
Oh, now you're accusing me of intentionally murdering the victim. Why would I ever do that? You said it yourself, my goal was sabotage. Committing murder would have brought unnecessary attention to what I've done.
But those constructs do have a habit of shoving people there in their way. What if the construct pushed Justin out of the way, causing him to fall over the edge of the guardrail?
He's figuring out everything that happened from just a few clues?
Hey, I didn't see you there. I was just
walk past him. Acknowledged.
What? Hey, watch it! Quit shoving me! Wait, what? Holy crap! Pull me up! I can't hold over much longer!
Ah, you idiot! What are you doing?
What?
Grab his arm and pull him up. Acknowledged.
Oh, my head! What the hell are you doing?
You grip so tight, stop that! Acknowledged.
Oh, that's what happened? Okay, that's actually a lot more funny than I thought.
Wait, I can still...
Okay, actually, if it actually happened like that, oh man, that shit would be that's actually pretty funny that it happened like that. It may have been unintentional, But either way, you would have been at fault for Justin's death, not my client. And if the construct fell in after Justin, your attuned object must be somewhere in the neutralized liquid. No, it's even better than that. Constructs are made from a specific magical alloy, aren't they? Shit. I'm sure with a few divination spells we can identify the metal shards from the construct and your arcane focus. Each and every one of those pieces of evidence points directly at you, Von Sanctus.
You petulant little upstart.
And that's checkmate, Von Sanctus. Why don't you save us a little time, Von Sanctus? Admit to what you did. And while you're at it, drop your false allegations against my client.
I have nothing to admit to, nor do I have anything to apologize for.
Of course not. You're completely blameless, right?
Do you think you've achieved victory here today? No. Dissidents like you and Dragogen are absolutely deluded. Each and every breath you take only throws Rivengard into further into chaos.
You talk about these commoners as if they even have a fraction of the power that you have.
Lady Tyrion, you need to see reason. They lack awareness of the power they truly have.
What?
These people have infected you and His Majesty with these idealistic delusions. I implore both of you to see the reality for what it is.
No, Von Sanctus. The true reality is that people like you become threatened when we challenge your power.
You all speak about the rights of the individual. You speak as if each and every one of you wouldn't stab each other in the back at the moment that it benefited yourselves. You may hate the nobility. You may curse, scream, and blame us for all your little problems, but the truth is that you need us. You need us to direct and lead you. You need us to maintain the fragile order that holds your peaceful little lives together.
You talk about protecting the common folk from themselves, but the truth is that your actions led to the death of an innocent man. That is the only truth that matters. The defense has no further questions for the witness. He is dismissed.
Very well.
We did it again, Tyrion. We even caught another murderer in the process.
Yeah, we couldn't get the case officially dismissed today, but it's pretty much inevitable with the evidence that we brought in today.
Actually, it probably won't even reach that point. I've advised Lord Von Sanctus to drop the suit entirely. Word has already spread regarding the evidence that you brought forward. At this point, prolonging the trial would just harm his public image even more. That's great, now you can build a case against him for Justin's death. About that, I'll probably be forced to recuse myself from any charges brought against him. What? Why?
It's because you represented him in the suite, isn't it? It would be considered a conflict of interest to prosecute him yourself, even though you're probably the only prosecutor that would convict him successfully.
You're correct. As the head of one of the Pillar families, he has the justice system dancing in the palm of his hand. He would definitely be quietly and swiftly acquitted. I would have never agreed to represent him if I had known about this. I am truly sorry.
Damn it! I must have had this plan all along.
No. Is he seriously gonna get away with this?
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Dragogen.
He may be acquitted in legal sense, but the court of public opinion is a different thing entirely.
What do you mean?
You brought forward a myriad of evidence against him, and I'm sure everyone in the gallery saw it too. Von Sanctus's power relies on his public image, and you quite handily tore it down, that facade. He may walk free, but his power and ideals have taken a great blow.
But is that seriously all we can do? His actions and recklessness resulted in the death of Justin Wade. He should be punished within the letter of the law.
You're not wrong, Mr. Cuthbert, but sometimes we must take victories that we can get.
She's probably right. But there's still one thing that's nagging at me.
Oh? And what's that?
Why was your safe unlocked if nothing was stolen? If Justin had gone into your safe, he would have taken your gold with him. It wouldn't still be there.
Considering that nothing is missing, I would rather leave it at that.
Really?
Justin was a good man. I'd rather not taint anyone's memory of him, especially Masarika's.
Right. She was pretty upset about your accusations.
Nothing was taken, so no harm was done in that regard.
I suppose so. But I can't help but wonder what actually happened. And that's the episode, B, and there's the eye taker. What voice do I give him? It just makes no, no, not that voice. It just makes no damn sense to me. The kid successfully robbed the guy days ago. No one saw him. No one even suspected him. But then he breaks into the place again. Also, he can put back the stolen gold. Does this make any sense to you, Ares?
Perhaps he felt remorse for his actions, father.
Oh, shit.
Not everyone can betray the people they love so easily. And if that's true, I feel like there's a sense of tragic beauty to it all. If he had ever tried to do the right thing, he would have never encountered the construct in the first place. He would have paid his debt and he would have still have his life.
It's true what they say. No good deed goes unpunished. It's a shame about the gold, though.
I think we've more than made a profit today. I, for one, am happy to have claimed a boatload of tithes today.
So the plot thickens. Wow. Actually, yeah, we ended this case pretty quickly. Well, a lot more quickly than I thought. Oh well. Yeah, I guess the next case, the severed ties case number 4, will be conducted in our next stream. So yeah, farewell for now, and catch you in the next stream.